Hey there all, my name's Ryan Mack and welcome to a video where we talk about the Game Awards and our all-around Game of the Year talks. I was joined by some of my friends and fellow content creators, and we discussed all of the Game Award nominations this year. We talked for a good 3 hours, and so you can find the video here. Just a heads up in advance, there are some spoiler talks for games that came out this year, specifically The Last of Us 2, so if you have not played that game to the end yet, I strongly suggest playing it through to the end before you watch this video. Obviously, the Game Awards happening in a few days' time as of posting this video, so come back and look afterwards at how we talked, or watch beforehand. Either way, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in a bit. It's such an awkward thing to start. I'm just going to literally just start like we're just having a conversation, because, you know, like, yes, introductions.
As you do.
Yeah, right?
As one does.
I mean, one can introduce everyone. So, you know, in this conversation,
that would make more sense if you did.
we have Alex, the nerd. You have... I don't know why
I've only played Destiny since 2014.
I don't know why I'm pointing it, because everyone's going to be different. We have Princess Hylian. And then we have one Spicy Naked Panda. Are you going to change your name? I remember you saying...
I'm getting rid of Naked soon. Yeah, I'm getting rid of Naked eventually, because it's terrible for just... But everyone loves it, so I'm gonna ride out the wave of just good, you know, serotonin vibes every time someone like laughs at my name when I follow them. They love it. Everyone wants me to talk immediately.
Oh, it's great. And anyway, we're here because we are going to be discussing the Game Awards this year and our games of the year and just gaming in general 2020. Another generation, I guess, because it is the one of these years where the generation ends. So, we might as well jump straight into it with talking about the nominees across multiple different categories of the Game Awards this year. Ending with Game of the Year, but we'll get to that one at the end. Basically, as well, we're going to skip over all of the esports games and athletes and stuff, because that's not really any of our forte, unless you really want to discuss anything about it.
I love Overwatch. That's it.
Is that actually nominated? I think it's on there for esports game, right? Have a look.
Yeah, I think, no, there's a few, and there's a few competitors that are also, like, up for nominations
for,
it's
like,
not Gamer of the Year.
It's not actually one of them.
Not only the game, not only the game itself, but the actual like people, like the esports people on the teams.
Yeah, and the event, like Overwatch League's up there, right? Which is actually, I think, is what I voted on it. I think I voted for that because they do really good shows. Let's look at these categories in a minute, because we're gonna basically work our way backwards. I feel like. Okay, so let's go. You know, let's start with the best debut game of this year. So what was nominated was once it loads.
Imagine not having it preloaded.
No, I have. No, basically, when you click on something, it takes you to a whole new page. So the best debut games this year, which were...
You're just going to cut this all out, which makes sense.
No, I'm not. I'm keeping all of this right here, staying in. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio. So you have Carrion, Mortal Shell, Raji and Ancient Epic, Roki and Phasmophobia. I know for all of us, it's going to be a case of not all of us have played a lot of these games. For me personally, I played Phasmophobia only, and I'm going to try Carrion.
I've played Carrion.
Oh, go on.
I played Carrion too, yeah.
How did you guys like it?
I don't remember it.
Oh, really? I know it's in Game Pass. And it's like,
it was great.
You're like a tentacle monster,
slide around as a little slimy monster.
It's really good, because it changes, it flips the perspective really good. Pretty awesome. I've watched people play it more than I've played it, but...
I've had one of them games.
Shazam played it too.
Put it on and you just zone out for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's one of these like silly ones where it's like you can just lose yourself in it for like 10 minutes up to an hour and then come back to it or something. I know with Mortal Shell's like basically a Dark Souls-esque game, and so I'm surprised you haven't actually tried that, Alex, because I've seen good and bad things about it.
I have it on PC.
Wow,
it was pretty good.
What did you think? You thought it was good? I've heard that gets very easy.
It's really weird how it scales, because it's not like Dark Souls at all.
Right.
Like, so, like, the fact that it's compared is annoying, but I mean, it kind of has similar combat to an extent, so I get it. And when you die, you know, you die. But you can literally just grab another, like, husk, and you get completely different abilities and stuff. So, it, like, there's a weird, like, just, like, you know, like, immediate power, like, jump, like, right off the get-go. So it's good, but it's definitely weird. I wouldn't even call it a Souls game, but...
You have to upgrade your shows as well.
Yeah.
I've never, out of all of these ones, the one I've never heard of is Roki. Raji, I've heard good things about in terms of basically it's about Indian mythology, I believe, and it's actually made by an Indian studio, so it's very much a case of them expressing themselves and their culture through a game. People have said
the art.
People have said it's almost like it's like a Dante's Inferno kind of God of War style, not hack and slash necessarily. It's not like graphic or anything, but it plays in that vein of action game. I think for for me personally, and I would say this as for maybe for all of us, Phasmophobia is the one we're all kind of the most common with. Like, we've played it a lot. That's personally what I would vote for, simply because it, out of all those 5, it's the one that took the world by storm, if you will, in terms of Twitch. Like, everyone was playing that game at least during October. It does a lot of stuff which is really cool with like proximity chat, and I really enjoy playing it with like all my friends and stuff.
I think that it's, for me, it's like, it's such a simple concept, but then it just like builds off that.
Right.
So like, yeah, you go in, you're like, what the heck am I doing? Because the first time we played it, we were just all lost and confused.
Just throwing basketballs everywhere.
And yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was fun. But then we like actually tried to like get good at it to an extent and like, you know, figure it out, even with the bigger maps and stuff. Because it gets insane with like the school and stuff. I hate that map still.
The asylum is so much worse.
No, I'd rather go to the asylum 10 times.
I haven't played the prison one yet.
Layout makes way more sense. No, I don't know for me.
The asylum is garbage.
Asylum is so bad.
It's really bad.
It's so much easier though, because it's just like straight hallways.
The school's a giant square. What?
Yeah, but like I get lost in the rooms and then upstairs. When I go upstairs, I'm gone. I'm never going back down.
Giant square though. What?
Let me die.
No, I think one thing that Faz did that, first of all, I'm surprised, and I think this is something that a lot of people talked about when it first came out, was like it was made by what, like 2 or 3 people,
I believe
and
it's
the
one,
fact
right?
that
It was
Well,
one
it was-
person and like 2 people under them. So
Oh,
it was like
okay.
a lead and 2 designers.
so the fact that it came out when it did, it got as popular as it did, and the like stuff in it worked. Like the chat, the in-game chat and everything. Like, it's buggy, you know, obviously when it first releases, but like that kind of stuff, it worked, and it worked a lot better than a lot of like, you know, top name games that are attempting to throw that into their games. Like, that to me blows my mind. And then the consistent like updating support of it. They have the beta version where you can try out the stuff, basically like PTB and all that stuff. I think they did a really good job with being very in tune to what the community wants. Like, they've added stuff in that people have like, oh, I would like to see this in the game, and they're like, sure, we'll try it, whatever.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I think personally,
it's like,
oh,
no, you're good. No, you're good. Go.
oh no, I was gonna. Have you got more to it? Because I was gonna basically wrap.
Oh no, I was gonna say that
I have
Pacify, like
Okay.
Pacify like started that. I think that like kind of idea at least, but I think Phasmophobia does it way better because it has more of like a consistent gameplay and it makes sense because Pacify is like super like, what am I doing? There's dolls. Okay, I guess I'm burning them. It's like all over the place. Where Phasmophobia has like very like, it's like simple, but like when it gets harder, it gets harder. Like, because it like if you yell when it's on the hunt, it will come after you instead of the person it was chasing down, and it will kill you because you were too loud. And I'm like,
Right.
that's good. It's good. It's good game design.
I think Phasmophobia is one of the best examples of a Unity engine.
Is it? Oh,
Like,
Unity is that it's on.
Yeah, it is Unity. So a lot of it is crowd shared assets, right? So
Yeah.
most
Right.
of it is stuff that are put in, but then they've used these assets really, really well. It's not just like thrown together.
I can agree with it, for sure.
Like lots of Unity
The
is just
monster
like,
models are a little.
grab that.
mon-
Just grab
The monster
this.
models are a little like to be desired for me personally, but besides that, I think it's great. Especially when you die and you go into that weird like basement too. Just has good
Yep.
Yeah.
atmosphere. Like in the sound, as soon as you open the door, you're like, "Where'd that white noise come from? I don't like that. Let me go. I'm gonna leave now."
Oh, but yeah. I think if I had a gripe with Phasmophobia, it's once you get used to playing it, you kind of aren't scared as much by it anymore, which isn't necessarily a huge thing, but like, I think that's why a lot of people jumped on it the first one. It's like, oh, this is good to get scared by. I remember all of us were like freaking out the first time. And now I'm just there like, whispers in me. I'm like, oh, okay, you're here.
Oh, the painting.
it's-
That one
It's
painting.
very like, it's very friendly to people that don't like horror games. Like, I absolutely hate horror games. I'm terrible with them, as you all know. But a setting like that to where I can play with friends. If I wanted to play it by myself, I could. I know, like, it gives me room to get to know the mechanics before getting like thrown to the wolves. Like, I don't have to wander through and figure out kind of like what Panda was saying with Pacify. Like, it's all over the place, and most of the time the games that are made in the horror genre are made with the thought that like it's only people in the horror genre that are going to play it. So a lot of them are very similar to each other. Like, oh, if you've played this game, you'll know how to play this game. This one is very like newbie friendly, and it's also like, it's something that's fun to play even if you're not into horror games.
Right.
And for this for the newbie stuff, I think it's way easier of like an entry level than like something like Dead by Daylight for
Yeah.
because Dead by Daylight's way harder when you first start because you don't know what the killers do. You're already under advantaged even if you know what you're doing as a
I still don't know
survivor,
what I'm doing. I've played it for a while, so
Yeah.
I think personally, like to kind of finish on it, I think Phasmophobia probably is going to win. I could see Carrion possibly taking it just because I'm trying to think of the jury voters and like the companies that I played it. Like I've never really heard much said, even like Mortal Shell and like I said, and Raj I've heard more about, and I've heard of Roki. I've never heard anyone talk about those games. Carrion, when it came out, I remember people talking about it. Phasmophobia, people still cover it even now. So I think if people were to vote, I think Phasmophobia will probably win that category. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it would make the most sense. I think I don't even know if I would say Carry On would be my second. I think that honestly, I think that oh god, I'm so bad with names. I literally already forgot it. But I think the other one might take it because just for the simple fact that like because of the jury voting, because of how like little the actual like our votes matter, because of how the system's set up, which is what it is, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm pretty sure he will get into it and we won't.
Mortal Shell. That's the thing. Mortal Shell. Mortal Shell. Like I think that should technically win because there's a lot there and it is a very unique like universe.
Yeah.
And there's way more in it technically than Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is the experience, but Mortal Shell's like the story kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one is Content Creator of the Year, and the nominations are, or it's for a streamer or content creator who's made an important and positive impact on the community in 2020. And the nominations were Alana Pierce, Jayan Lopez, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman, and Valkyrie. Or is it Valkyrie? I just know.
Valkyrie. It's Ray, yeah, because her name's Ray.
Right. I think like this one's not even much of a discussion. I feel like is needed in terms of it's probably gonna be Tim the Tatman. I voted for Alana Pierce because like she does a lot.
Same.
In terms of like streaming and like YouTube, but if you're gonna look at out of those 5, like who was talked about most this year and who had like an impact, it's Tim. Like with the whole Fall Guys thing,
with the Fall Guys thing, yeah, he's gonna
internet.
win. He's gonna win. I was there when he finally got his win. Like I cared, and I don't even watch him regularly, so yeah, he's gonna win.
ESPN special.
He's up there. He's definitely like no one talks about him, but he's just he's just doing his thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I'd be okay with him winning. But yeah, I vote for Alana Pierce because she does a lot for like just for people in general. And she like always like will like speak out if there's something wrong with the industry, even if she doesn't like it could put her in a bad position. She's like, I don't care. Especially after she left IGN. So I picked her.
What about you guys? Is there anyone on that list who you would like to see win?
I honestly don't watch any of them. I've seen lots of Tim when he played Overwatch. I watched Valkyrie for Among Us. I've not. Nick Merckx, I know is a great Fortnite guy, but I don't know who the other two are.
Yeah, I don't know who out of those 5, I don't know who Jayan Lopez is. I know I haven't really seen anything from Ray or Nick, and I've watched some stuff with Tim, but Lana's like the only one I kind of know.
I've heard of Nick, but that's it. Princess.
I don't really watch any of them. I've heard like all of their names and stuff. I watched Tim with the whole Fall Guys thing, and I know Alana does a lot with like the IGN stuff and all that, but I don't know. Like
she's a writer now at Sony Santa Monica.
Yeah, she's now working on God of War.
Maybe. Or another game. Probably gotta work.
But yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume that Tim's gonna win that one. Right. Yeah. Next one.
Okay. Next year though. Alana. Maybe.
So the next one is best multiplayer. So it's for an outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. And the nominations were Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys: Ultimate Knockout, and Valorant. I mean, I wonder what I voted for. It's pretty clear what I voted. I voted for Fall Guys. Honestly,
I voted for Fall Guys.
I could see, to be honest, it's one of these things where Animal Crossing didn't get a nomination for Game of the Year, and so they always like to try and throw these. People will put their votes somewhere else. To me, I think that COD could win, but like in terms of jury voting, I don't think COD or Valorant are really gonna have a choice. I think again with Fall Guys might get the nomination because it's like, oh hey, here's one category that's in, but I honestly think that Among Us might win this. What about you guys?
I think it's honestly between Among Us and Fall Guys. But
I honestly don't know why Animal Crossing is on this
Right.
list.
I had this exact same thing.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I love the game, but just
Multiplayer?
overall, multiplayer on the Switch is like atrocious in general. And
yeah,
like the amount of stuff that you can do in multiplayer on Animal Crossing, it doesn't like you're comparing Animal Crossing to Warzone?
Right.
my
What?
favorite battle royale is
Like,
Animal Crossing New
it
Horizons.
doesn't make sense to me. I think that should not have been there, and there would have been an opportunity for another game that actually fit the role. But I think, I mean, Fall Guys, in my opinion, is probably gonna win. I think Among Us though, just because of um
The
like
impact.
Fall Guys falls into like this weird like battle royale
Hmm.
like sect, and Among Us like that side of Fall Guys, like a lot of people were not interested because of that specifically. And then you had like sweats and stuff, which you have sweats in Among Us, but like Among Us is one of those games where like if you just want to have a chill night with friends, you can hop on and play some Among Us, and like
You can do hide
it
and seek. There's different
doesn't
modes.
have to be like intense or anything. So
There's way more customization too.
that's the one that I would hope that
I
would win.
honestly think Among Us has this in the bag. I don't think any of these games stands a chance. You tell me another game that you can just turn
My-
on. You can get your grandma to play, you can get your mum to play, you can get your brother to play all at the same time for free within like a 20 gigabyte, not a gigabyte, megabyte install.
And it's on
And
phones.
then-
With your phone too, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on phone, it's on Steam, it's cross-play across both of them, it's free on mobiles,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure it doesn't even have adverts anymore.
Until the end of the year, they've said that
Yeah.
there was an
Yeah.
issue of pushing adverts through, and that they've just taken them out till the end of the year.
Yeah, so
Cool.
and then honestly, there's not a game like Among Us right now.
Yeah, I
And you
think
get
it's,
and on PC you get the free outfits for every season. Like we got the free Halloween stuff. Now we're getting the free Christmas
Christmas
stuff.
stuff,
So
yeah.
Mhm.
it's
they're
one of those
updating.
things where it's like I feel like Among Us will probably take it simply because like I would say it's between Among Us and Fall Guys, but it's gonna be a case of I think maybe people might have voted Fall Guys in the middle of the year, but Among Us kind of came along and it's like everyone's like Fall Guys, what was that? Yeah, what we were saying with Animal Crossing though, I completely agree with that because it's like if they had
100%.
the game as oh you could have like this land that you share with people and hey everyone can build their houses here, it's like no,
Right.
it's you can only give it to best friends, which people mainly did anyway, but then it's like oh nothing really mattered.
You
You
can't
had
even
to
renovate your island.
exactly
yeah,
right.
when people are there, yeah.
Yeah.
You had to fly in and like you had to load into the game, you had to load out of the game, and whilst the multiplayer was cool whilst you were there, it's like you were very limited in what you could do. And especially it's because it's one of those cases where the way Animal Crossing is designed, it's like you come on for one day and play for like an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. It's like you're not gonna get your friends coming in like every day. It was cool to see the way like
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year people use it as a platform to play like Deal or No Deal and like these kind of different games. But I think
That was fun, yeah.
it's
Fishing-
Among Us, I think, like you guys are saying.
It's a downgrade though in the terms of multiplayer because with the 3DS version, they had the island where they had mini games and like things you could do with your friends, and they still haven't introduced that in a DLC or anything. Why are we giving Nintendo more accolades? I'm over it. I'm good.
Fishing with your friends in a Discord call after everybody's had a long stressful day was one of the best parts about March.
It was a lot of fun.
It's
yeah.
definitely one
I
of those
remember
games
doing that.
where people will remember it because of what it did, especially at the beginning of lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it made a huge difference.
Mm.
It helped a lot. Yeah, I need to get back on Animal Crossing. Dang.
I need to as well. I haven't played since June. So
Yeah, I mean,
I might just nuke my island and just start all over.
Right.
Honestly, it's so bad. I don't want to though.
so the next
Oh, it's tough.
category, which we can we'll talk about briefly, is best sports and racing game. So for the traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game, to me there is only one possible winner. There's two potential. Anyway, Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters 1 and 2. I think that's
Hawk.
gonna win it. Yeah. Not even I haven't played any of
I
these.
picked Tony Hawk.
Like, I haven't even played Tony Hawk,
I
but
haven't even played it that much.
it's one of these things with again, like looking at it as like a
The nostalgia though.
yeah, what's everyone gonna
Yeah.
vote for? The fact that it did well and is going well, it's gonna to me, it's either gonna be this or NBA. It's not gonna be any of the other three.
I
But
think that there's a chance that winning that game is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen.
it looks great.
They always do such a great job but I always feel like they just like it never like actually gets. I don't know. For me at least, because I don't play racing games like religiously. I would always just play them like couch co-op, and now I don't play games couch co-op that much. I play them online, so I'm like, but I get it. Like same with sports games. I used to play Madden. I would sit down and play Madden, but not now.
Yeah,
You know what
Madden's
I
like
mean? I'm
nominated.
Last FIFA I played was FIFA 13.
I think mine was 11. Was the last one I played.
I couldn't tell you the number.
No.
I don't even think I played one. Like actually.
I think the last sports game that I played was Madden on the PlayStation. Nope, not PS2, PlayStation. Yep.
The original. My God, yeah.
So
Blitz,
do you
remember
guys
Blitz
do you
from
guys think
64?
that Tony Hawk is probably going to win it as well, or did you think that might be something else might take it?
I think FIFA 21 could win it because everyone's been freaking out about that game lately on Twitter
really?
from what I've seen. But
Oh, is
I
it
just
'cause
keep
of the
seeing
next
it
gen?
trending. It goes
Yeah,
trending.
There was a next gen release, or the next gen upgrade came out like yesterday, I believe, is what everyone's probably talking about.
I've heard NBA is one of the better NBAs in a few years.
Yeah, it's sports
Really?
games are a weird one where it
Sounds
takes
good.
a turn. Like 1 year is like really good, and then everyone's complaining the next year because they've taken something out, or there's packs.
They
And,
added too much
yeah,
loot boxes, or they add
Mhm.
ads into your game that you paid $60 for, but
Right.
then you have to watch ads in the loading screen.
Yikes.
yeah. I think Tony
I
Hawk's
didn't play
probably
those
winning.
games, but I seen the rage videos at it. I saw someone broke their TV over it one time. That was
Oh
hilarious.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. For best sim and strategy game, so the best game focused on real-time or turn-based strategy, or simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform, you have Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and XCOM Chimera Squad.
I just don't think Microsoft Flight Simulator should be in that category. That's all I'm gonna say right off the
Well,
top. But
that's the thing, right? The category is basically best strategy, but we've put that in there, so we need to call it best sim/strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah, it came out
Strategy.
weird. I honestly think that that Flight Simulator might win it, just because I think people will talk about how well or what it did with like mapping. But to me,
and you could add in like tornadoes and stuff and like crazy effects.
you can fly through it. I've never played, so
Yeah.
I've never Crusader Kings 3. I've heard a lot of good things about Crusader Kings 2. I don't know how 3 was. Chimera Squad
I've heard of them,
wasn't
but-
really. Everyone's like, why is this just like a DLC thing? And Desperados 3 I've never really heard about. I think to me, what I hope wins and what I would vote for is Gears Tactics, because that's actually a game which I think people need to pick up on, because a lot of people pass over it because of it's a strategy game, but
Yeah.
Gears actually, to me, translates very well into a strategy game. And like, I still haven't
looks
finished
good.
it, but I'm loving the
does look
characters
great.
in it. I loved my time playing it. I definitely need to jump back into it at some point. And that's on
I think
Xbox
they
as well.
need to add a versus though. They need to add a versus because like even XCOM has a versus mode. You know what I
Right.
mean, I think it's only the first one. I think they got rid of it in the sequel actually, but I think the versus always has like pulled me in more for the strategy games like
Mhm.
StarCraft and stuff. It's always been a bigger selling point for me. But that's what I picked too, was Gears Tactics. But for DLC wise, multiplayer.
Yes, I would love to see it. Did anyone play Microsoft Flight Simulator?
I watched Dad is Bad play it. It looked
Oh,
pretty good.
He enjoyed a
Scott
lot of
play
it.
it.
Yeah, I saw him like crashing a lot.
So one of my good friends growing up used to play Flight Simulator X. I can't remember what year that came out. It was probably like 20 years ago, maybe. But
Yeah.
from what I've saw, it's a great evolution from that.
I don't want to give it a go, but the download is so big. I don't even know if my
Yeah.
PC can handle it.
I'd have to like delete Destiny. I'd have to uninstall everything I just
Oh
downloaded.
no, Panda deleting Destiny.
Oh no, not again! Except I'm enjoying it now, so I wouldn't do that.
We will get to Destiny a bit though, because it is actually up for a few of these awards.
I didn't vote for it because it was before I voted before I got the DLC.
Oh, you can change your vote, you know.
So I don't want to. I stayed my ground.
Prince, you got anything to add on that category?
I didn't play any of them. No.
You really
I'm
like
not fair.
Flight Sim? Big fan.
Like,
Just get an extra terabyte drive just for Flight Sim. You're good to go. It's fine.
okay, so the next one, which actually has 6 nominees compared to everyone else
actually.
that normally has 5. So this is best family game. So for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform, you have Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario: The Origami King. I think, again, like we were talking earlier, I think this is between Animal Crossing and Fall Guys. Again, because I think people are going to try and like, hey, I'm going to vote for this one in this category. I'm going to throw it. But I think Animal Crossing will probably win this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it should necessarily, but I also think that Paper Mario it had right off the get go. It was a rough sell because they're like, no more XP. We're just gonna give you confetti for random fights. You don't need to really fight anyone except for the bosses. There's no like upgrade in actual power or anything.
Mhm.
That was a
Yeah.
huge like lacking
no
point for a lot
point to 100% it either. You get literally nothing. You get the same as you do for finishing the story.
Yeah,
so
I got bored of
very
Paper Mario
lackluster.
quickly.
I didn't even get it because I was like, nah. The last one I liked was Paper Mario for the Wii, I think.
I see.
And
I
after
never even
that-
played that one. I think I've only played like the original one, and then I think I was gonna get the Wii U one for Color Splash or whatever it's called, and everyone's like, "No, it's terrible." I was like, oh, "Okay, I'm gonna stick off," and then everyone's like, "This one looks good." I'm like, "Okay," and it had some good moments from what I played. I got to like the first boss or the half after the first or second boss, I think, and that's just like,
I think the story is good. I just think the mechanics are a little, it's lacking. But I think that'll probably be either Animal Crossing.
I think one thing that doesn't really apply to any visit except for maybe Link is the same having multiple villages on the same Switch on the island.
Yeah.
Like I've been watching Umli, like she was sending snaps of the kids playing it, and they've all got their own houses, and she's
Right.
letting them do their own little place, and that's great. That's really great for a family.
yeah,
Right.
Like Link's done that with her husband. So
I think Minecraft Dungeons could possibly have some sort of votes there. Then I feel like I don't think anyone's necessarily going to vote for Mario Kart or Paper Mario. Crash Bandicoot, I don't think is going to get many votes either.
Mario
like-
Kart, that thing is innovative though. The little
Oh,
cart
yeah.
thing, I
That
want
might be
so bad.
why people like vote for that one. But again, it's pricey, and you're done with it after a while. I feel like.
Yeah, no, you have to. The buy-in is weird. It's like $100 just to like have this little thing that goes around cardboard.
Right.
hi Mexi.
I
They
think
say Mac.
Animal Crossing. Yeah, I think Animal Crossing is probably gonna win it because Fall Guys is not what I think of when I think of family game.
I mean, that's because we watch you and Panda play, and you just yell at each other.
To be
That's not
fair
family
though, when
appropriate.
I do stream it, there are some people coming in like, "Oh, my kid's watching you play," and then like I remember Band Monkeys being like, "My daughter likes watching you play it," and I'm like, "Well, okay, I'll get the win for her." Then she like gets really happy when I win. And it's like that's cute because there's something that like families can get involved with.
Fall Guys is really good, but no,
it's inherently family. Yeah.
but like but back to Alex's point, when I played with Princess, everything was good and gravy. Okay, we were just vibing, hanging out, chilling, playing Animal Crossing. Okay, so it's the common denominator here isn't me. Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's both of you.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not arguing anything.
Animal Crossing is like my parents. They used to be really into playing video games, like back with the NES, SNES, and the Nintendo 64. But they don't play as much now. Like I think the last game my dad played all the way through. He dabbled with Red Dead Redemption 2 a little
Right.
bit, but not like a whole lot. But
Yeah.
him and my mom play Animal Crossing literally every day. Like
Yeah.
I'll be down here and my dad has the volume turned all the way up and I'm like, oh, he's up there fishing again. Like because you hear all the sounds and stuff. They'll have conversations. Like I told Maxie, it was probably like 2 or 3 months ago at one point, they were talking loudly to each other and I thought that they were arguing about something. And they were talking about how my mom was upset because my dad played on her account and took all of her iron nuggets and now she had no
Yes.
iron and she was so upset. So I think and it's a game that like people literally didn't have a Switch in their house and then went and bought a Switch
Right.
just for this game. So
And then
I
there was
think it's gonna take
shortages.
it.
I think that
Yeah, exactly.
it's really great. It's just I feel it's the same thing with Nintendo always for me though. I always feel like you could just use a little more, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's good, especially with all the add-ons they have added. But sorry,
I think it was hilarious how it got to the point where we was all keeping an eye out for the
Turnip
Animal Crossing features
prices.
in America just to get Link a stupid Animal Crossing.
It was awful. And now they're like, you walk into any store and they're like, please take them. We have 20.
And yeah, trying to get turnips.
The
to go be
turnips,
a
oh
time
gosh.
traveler.
oh yeah, no, that was definitely a whole mess. People getting yelled at for time traveling. It's like we've been playing this game longer than you.
Mhm.
Okay, you sit down, you normie, new person that's playing, for the first time. I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah, I remember talking to Mark about it at the beginning. I was like, I played like multiple of them, and I time travel all the time. He's like, I'm gonna try not time traveling. And I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure like within a week he's like, I time traveled. It's just like, okay.
I've done that. I did it too.
I haven't time traveled on it once.
I only did it a few times at the
Yeah,
beginning
so-
just to get things started because I was
Yeah.
like really annoyed by waiting for the stupid owl.
Mhm. I set my
Spiders.
Switch purposely back 3 days before I even started the game, just because I knew I was gonna fast forward it. And so then by the time I got to it, I was on time. So
Didn't even try to do the 2020 New Year's resolution thing, You didn't even try to, go for it, the New Year's. Nope. You weren't like, I'm not gonna do it, and then fail terribly. Good job,
Yeah.
Ryan. You know, it's good.
Right.
You knew ahead of time.
Best fighting game. So for the best game design, primarily about around head-to-head combat, this is one which I feel like they could have done without this year, because your nominations are Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. No, I've never heard of it. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, and Under Night in Birth EXE late, and then in like brackets CL-R.
As you do.
Yeah, to me personally, this I don't like. 2 of them I've never heard of. I've heard One Punch Man is trash, and 2 of them are Ultimate Editions.
Is it
of a
trash?
game.
I haven't heard anything about it.
I've heard not. I haven't heard good things, but I've heard that you basically make your own character on One Punch Man, and like.
You get to play as him? What's the
Spawn.
point?
No, apparently he's like near the end or something. But yeah, 2 of them I've never heard of. They could be really great games. Don't get me wrong. But
No,
these are normally voted for. It'll probably be Mortal Kombat, or actually it'll probably be Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter that wins it. But like
And they're just deluxe versions. Though.
Yeah.
They're not even like the original
They're
game.
Ultimate Editions of games came out like last year or like a few years ago. Because what, Street Fighter 5 is like 4 years old at this point?
Street Fighter 5 is really old. But that's the thing with Street Fighter. They only release them every like few years. Mortal Kombat sometimes will churn them out like every other year. That's the thing. That's why there's more, obviously.
So I just think, I think Mortal Kombat will win it, but I don't think it's needed. Have any of you guys played any of those random games? I guess
I played Mortal Kombat 10, I think, maybe.
11. Oh, actually, wait, I didn't even particularly like Mortal Kombat 11. It slowed all the combat down, like, so they want you to be like closer and it's like more heavy hitting, but it's like slow almost now. I'm like, oh.
They probably tried to bring it back to like the original.
I've never played any of them. I mean, my last recollection of playing Mortal Kombat, I think, was the arcade one that they had at the bowling alley when I would go with my Nana when she would bowl in her league. Like when I was 5. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game in I don't know how long yet.
Yeah. No, it gets no, I don't know, like it's weird because like unless there's like a Smash game or something, I really don't play fighting games. Like I played Streets of Fury or Rage or whatever the heck it's called. I'm gonna yell that, it's fine.
Streets of Rage.
Yell at me. Yeah, Streets of Rage.
Wait, actually, no, wait, hold on. Streets of Rage 4 was out this year. Why isn't that on the list? I just thought about that.
That's way better than like it got weird reception because of like they've done a lot of weird like nerfs post game apparently.
Oh,
People
really?
have been complaining about it. Yeah. They're like, when's the buff coming? When's the buff coming? They keep saying it's coming out, but it hasn't come out yet. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
Should we move on? Did you want to say anything about any of the fighting games, Alex?
I don't play fighting games.
I mean, that's fair. It's kind of, those categories are kind of the ones we've gone past. It's like, hey, none of us really play them, but let's talk about them anyway. So for best role-playing game, for the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, includes a massively multiplayer experiences. You have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't play any of them.
I played the original Persona 5.
Yeah.
I haven't played the new version.
Did any of you get on the Genshin Impact hype? I've never played it, but it looks interesting.
I was gonna play it, but I am a massive whale when it comes to these type of games.
Yeah, it's like either Destiny or this.
Throw my money, and I would be so poor, I would be eating bread for weeks.
The same. I mean, look at the new Fortnite stuff. I bought Kratos and the Battle Pass already.
Oh, I need that Master Chief stuff to come out already, please. I
don't want Kratos. I don't need another one.
Oh wait, did I not send you the picture? Like I sent it to Alex.
Oh, I saw the leak. Yeah, I saw the leak.
It's definitely coming.
I brought it up. Yeah, but no. Genshin Impact I played once, and it was a lot of fun. It's just, but like the initial game is amazing, and then it makes you grind to like 15 just to get like the next part of the story, and that's like a solid, usually 2 hours, if not more, of like just grinding. Right after like the initial like tutorial stuff, which is really cool. It lets you like fight a dragon and stuff, and it's awesome. And then grinding, doing random fetch quests, which is an MMO, but
very much a mobile game in that aspect.
Yeah, which is cool because it has a lot of if you want a time sync, there's your time sync. There you go.
People still play it. Like I see a lot of people that we follow play it.
People love it.
I would spend so much money on that game. That's why I've not played it.
I haven't put a single dollar in it, and I feel great.
I've not touched it because I know I'll probably play it for like an hour and be like, I'm done with it.
I always forget about how much I put in Valorant.
I think out of the list, whoops, sorry, click something. The one that I would probably, I haven't played any of them, but the one that I would be at this point like most inclined to play would be the Yakuza game, just because I've heard great things. My brother loves all of the Yakuza games, and like I think that would probably be the one that I would most likely try. Least
Looks
likely being Genshin, just because I
Weave along with us, princess. Come on.
So I've actually played. Well, I've played Persona 5. I've not played the Royal Edition. I've heard good things. Out of all of them, the only one I haven't played is actually because I played Wasteland 3. I got bored of it rather quickly because what's surprising, Yakuza and Wasteland both are turn-based RPGs as well. So I don't get why they're necessarily in the strategy game. Wasteland, to me, I started playing. I'm like, Gears Tactics way better, and so I just kind of stopped because it was on Game Pass.
Wait, is it just it's strategy? This is just strategy?
I think there's probably more to it as well in terms of like there's like
I'm in the category, but
So it's role playing.
it's role
yeah,
playing.
this is role playing, yeah.
That's
Oh
why.
yeah, that's why it's
There's
here.
the
But
role-playing aspect,
I'm surprised it wasn't in the strategy game, is what I'm saying. Whereas Yakuza, I can see why it's here. I think personally, I think Final Fantasy is gonna win it because to me, I think it's either gonna be Final Fantasy or Persona, and I don't think people are gonna vote for again Persona Ultimate Edition. You know what I mean? I guess an argument which I don't agree with that can be made is, well, why is a remake of I Have All for a game? But this is a remake of a game which is like a completely different game. There's gonna be 3 Final Fantasy VII remakes because they're making it such a big and different game. Because I remember,
it's so weird. I've seen more spoilers than I would like to have seen about Final Fantasy VII since I haven't played it yet. And it's weird what they're doing with the game, to say the very least. By the end of the game, I was like, "What?" Because I finally watched it because I got something spoiled for me. That's something someone that didn't die that originally died in the.
I've seen that spoiler.
And I was like, "Huh." Like, it doesn't make sense, so I like had to watch it, and then I was like, okay, they're doing something crazy here. So I completely think it's justified that they finally put the effort and the time into actually remaking this game. So I think that game really deserves a lot more accolades than it's getting.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. But no.
It has its fans. I know Grim is a massive fan of it. But I got bored of Final Fantasy VII. I stopped playing it because it's just like, hey, here's the story's moving at a snail's pace, which is fine. But I remember everyone always used to complain about Final Fantasy 13 being so linear. And I'm like, this is just as linear. No, everyone's loving on it. It's like, okay, it's a strange, but I got bored of it.
There's in the story because I think 13 was just like, and how much what 13 had like hour wise. 13 was like what 100-hour grind just for like like how long does it take to beat it? I'll actually look this up.
I think it's like 40 hours. I don't think it's necessarily that long.
No, because there's 3 discs on the original Xbox 360, but that's also because of the fact that the Xbox 360 couldn't do Blu-rays.
Oh, Final Fantasy 13, I don't know, it's a good 60 to 100 hour game. It opens up after like chapter 11. But I love Final Fantasy all the way through.
Yeah, main story is 48.5 hours. But that's not even like, but that's mostly like cutscenes and like walking down a hallway.
Right.
A lot. That's my biggest thing. I couldn't even get to the open world aspect because like I was young at the time when it came out, so I never even got to the whole like opened up part, you know. So I was like, screw this is terrible.
Okay. For best action adventure game, for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, you have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2. Panda, we finally got to it. Yeah, what's your guys' favorite of those games? If you haven't played them or if you've watched them, which ones have you found endearing the most? I'll let everyone else go first.
Miles Morales.
I'll go last.
So what about it specifically?
I'll go second last.
I think in 2020, Miles Morales as a Spider-Man is just perfect. The story, he's such a great character. The voice acting, just everything about that game screams the perfect Spider-Man. It's one of the best games of Spider-Man I've ever played. Hands down.
It's one of those ones where it's like, I wish it was longer.
You wanted it, yeah, that's the biggest complaint. Huh?
Yeah, no, Princess can't play it because she hasn't got any, like a PlayStation.
Oh, I'll give you my PlayStation 4. I'm not gonna use it after I
You can get on PS4.
play both Last of Us games.
Is it on PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
have
runs
already
better
too.
on PS5, but obviously, but it is on. Yeah, it's on PS4. It's a PS4 game as well. I think I'd like to see it like get some sort of nod. I don't think it's necessarily gonna get anything out of those games. I don't know. It's a weird case again where I feel like it's gonna be one of these things where, like, let's just say The Last of Us 2 wins Game of the Year. It's not gonna win it here, and it'll be something else that wins it, which is why I think Ghost of Tsushima might win here.
I don't. I think it's gonna win multiple things, and I'm gonna be screaming and writhing in pain. I don't like that game because it's badly written and how it's thrown together just does not make sense.
Oh, we'll get to it at
Like
the end.
linear
Panda.
wise, Abby should have went directly after Ellie in the beginning. We should not have seen Joel die as early as we did.
We're gonna get to that at the
Bad.
Game of the Year talk. We'll get there,
Bad.
Panda.
Bad.
I think.
So what does this impact? What were the other
No,
games?
this is best
don't
action
know.
adventure. So Assassin's Creed,
Best
Ghost of
action adventure,
Tsushima,
Yeah.
Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Jedi
got
Fallen Order. And
I
Last
picked Jedi because I love Star Wars, and the game was great, and it was actually consistent.
I haven't played any of them. I agree with what Tails said about the Spider-Man game. I think in terms of viewing, I have Assassin's Creed. I've been back on the Destiny kick, so I haven't tried it yet. But I think Ghost of Tsushima, just for me personally, watching people play that game, like it appeared to have, again, because I have not played it, but it looked like it had, like, the combat was difficult, kind of Dark Souls-esque, but not exactly the same. It was different enough. Visually, that game was stunning.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
what
yeah.
I saw. Like,
I wish I
I
played it.
was in
That-
awe with the trailer, and then I saw the game, and I was like, holy shit, like, this doesn't even, like, the trailer didn't even do it justice. This game is gorgeous.
Don't forget you can
And-
pet the foxes.
You can.
True. I did see
I
that.
need to play it.
I need to
Um,
play it too, honestly. I
But
need to get it.
seeing just so with the background that I have of like being a huge Zelda nerd, a mechanic that I really enjoy in the game is that it's not all combat. There's like the stealth aspect and then puzzle solving aspect, and that's something that I saw a lot in Ghost of Tsushima. So that's why, personally, that's what I voted for.
Do you have or have you seen the what you can do with the flute and the weather? Did you know about this?
Yeah.
As a
I
Zelda
saw
fan, that you can play your flute. You learn flute songs in the game, and you can play specific flute songs to change the weather, like a certain Ocarina of Time.
Babe, we need to get this game.
Yeah, you can literally make it. You can make it rain. You can make it really sunny just by playing the flute, like different songs.
I can provide the PlayStation. I don't have the game, so that's on you.
And
but I
the thing
can give you my PlayStation.
with Ghost of Tsushima as well, they've added that multiplayer mode, and I have yet to play it though. I really want to try it.
It looks amazing. I've seen people grinding it.
Yeah.
For Legends. It looks really cool.
There's
Like,
a raid as well.
Yeah.
Oh, is there
I
really?
heard about that. Yeah, I heard about it. I want to play it, dude.
I would love to see Ori take something, because those games are like, they're not Saturn, like people know about them, but they are
issue
so
is that
good.
so few people played it though. Like if you look at the the last poll results, like it was low. Like it was super low. It was the lowest on the list, and it shouldn't be the lowest on
No.
the list at all. That game deserves so much more. It's beautiful. I haven't played it, but like if I was gonna vote Jedi, I'd probably either vote Ori or I'd vote Ghost, because I just haven't played Spider-Man, and I don't feel comfortable playing a game that I've heard is just a DLC until I've played it myself.
This
and
is
I've
actually a
made my own
category where I
opinion
played all 6 of them, and like I really need to put more time into Ori. I think my
about it.
fate,
That's not even in my mind. Not even in my mind.
I think
I'll be honest.
to give a vote, because I wouldn't give it to The Last of Us, because we'll get to that later. I think if I had to vote for any of them, I would like to see Miles Morales win it, but I think I would vote for Ghost as well. Like I still haven't done much with Ghost. I got to Act 2, and I've heard it gets even better after that, and the world's just starting to open up, and it's amazing.
I also
And,
just love Sucker Punch, like
Right.
Creek Studio, like Sly Cooper and everything, like
Mhm.
way back when.
I love Assassin's Creed as well, but I think it's kind of, at this point, Valhalla to me is too much almost. Like I've diverted off the main path so much, and it's great, I guess, to some extent. But as someone who I'm always like, get back on track. And yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is open world as well, and it's very much like Assassin's Creed. Like a lot of people, including myself around time, were saying this is the Assassin's Creed in Japan that they always wanted, and that's almost a disservice to it, I guess. But it's also kind of still that, and I mean that's a good thing because Assassin's Creed Valhalla is not an Assassin's Creed game. Like they
That's
just
the thing. It's not
slapped
saying
the
best
name on it.
story. That's the
Right.
thing. It's like best action adventure. So if you're enjoying the action and going off and just adventuring, then it's doing its job.
Right.
for that
And yeah,
category.
in Ghost of Tsushima there are multiple stances, whereas
Assassin's Creed game is so long.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like you have different weapons, but it's literally you're pressing square, and then block every so often.
It's the same Arkham like fighting style. You push 3 buttons and you're done. Yeah.
Okay. Best. So there's action adventure. Now there's also best action. So this for the game, and the action genre focused primarily on combat. So you have Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4 is actually here. That's where it is. It's not hiding on fighting game. It's hiding on action.
Well, I didn't even see it because I immediately voted for Hades.
Well, this is something that you and Alex can probably talk a lot about because I haven't played. Of that list, I've only played Hades and Streets of Rage 4. Hades I've only touched briefly. I did also vote for Hades just because I love super giant games who make it. And I want to put more time into it. Like what I played, I really enjoyed it. But I know Alex played Doom Eternal. You played Hades.
I played Doom Eternal too. Yeah, a little bit. Not too much.
Hades, and I've watched so much Neo.
I see.
Neo
I
is
forgot
weird.
it
I
came
don't
out.
like Neo. I played the first one and I couldn't stand it. Like
Right.
I couldn't stand Neo, and the sequels looks better, but
From what I've watched, the sequel's amazing. It's really pretty. It looks really fun. It's a great evolution on like Dark Souls in Japan, I guess.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why they came out with Sekiro. Like essentially, it's like they were both coming out around the same time.
Right.
First one, I think, or around, like I think Neo came out first, but no,
Yeah, it
for
did.
Hades for me, I started playing Hades before it even fully released. And I
Mhm.
put like 80 hours into it before it even came out. And I was like loving this game. It just feels so good. The combat when you get it down, like when you get like what like a character, like an ability you want, and like weapon, like gods that like boons that you want from the certain gods, it's just flawless. And the game just executes perfectly, and you can do some crazy stuff that doesn't even make sense combo wise. That like you wouldn't even think about doing until it just randomly happens. You're like, oh, I could do that. So I don't know. Alex, you want to talk about what did you do? What did Princess vote? What do you think? What do you guys think?
So, Doom Eternal, I got gifted when it like 2 months after it came out, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put this on, put it to stream, and then all of a sudden it was 15 hours later and I'd finished the game. that is very rare for me to finish a game in one sitting like that,
It is.
especially streaming, because I stream for like 2 hours max. But for me to do a 15-hour stream,
It's off the rip, yeah.
I don't
Right.
think I would give it best action though. The music, however, it's like spoilers. The music in that game is what gets you through, because even it's more like a dance. A lot of people say Doom's not like fighting; it's like a dance. You've got to dodge, you've got to dip, you've got to dive, and all of that is in tune with the music. So that's essential. It's great. It's so much fun to rip and tear.
We'll
But
get it
Hades-
is nominated for music. We can get there in a minute. But yeah.
Hades is a different story. I played a lot of Binding of Isaac when it was out, so I put like nearly 4,000 hours into that game.
Yeah, I love Binding of Isaac.
Hades is a natural evolution of roguelites. The art style's great, the game's great, the voice acting's great, and again, it's just so smooth. Just playing it, I'm playing it on PC right now, and like 700 frames, which makes no sense. You don't need that many ever.
You barely
But-
need 60 for that game.
But it's just so fluid. And again, this is really hard because Doom Eternal is very visceral,
Mhm.
whereas Hades is just nice in your eyes.
Yeah, and it's like it's like just the smoothness of sometimes. But like you were saying, the dance of Doom. I should really finish Doom Eternal. I was not into the first one as much, the first reboot, but this one's a lot like bigger and like they added a lot to it.
Great.
I've heard
boss
good things
fights
about
are
it.
Great. Except for maybe people don't like the what's he called? The Marauders.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
I anyone that says they don't like Marauder, I say you're playing the game wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
For
Well,
instance,
then also honorable mention though, I did play Streets of Rage 4 with Mexi.
it's
good
a
old-
good game.
Good old husbando.
Princess, is there anything on this list that you have played or would consider playing?
I have not played any. I've seen a lot of Doom, like this one and the last one that came out, and that to me isn't a game that like I think I would ever be interested in. I think probably the only one on the list that I would even consider playing is Hades. that just comes from watching like you guys play it and then hearing
Okay.
like all
She-
the praise that it's getting from a lot of people.
She literally bought it me yesterday, and I've already played nearly 10 hours.
You are the gifter. Oh, we got to that bottom of it eventually. Okay.
Like Half-Life Alex, I wish I just had a VR set and the
Right.
room and capabilities to play it
As
because it
some-
looks phenomenal.
As
But-
someone who's not that
but-
into VR, that's the game that would make me want to try it. And like, alongside Beat Saber, but that one, from what I've seen, it's very good.
When I watched Comfy play, it was hilarious.
Oh, didn't he like he
You
was
can throw the magazines at people, right?
yeah. Didn't he like he was looking in a
Hit him with
window
it,
and he didn't realize that like a head crab enemy in there, and didn't he like
Yeah.
freak the hell out?
Yeah, it was in that compilation way back when.
But I think, like, collectively, Doom's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Doom will win.
I think Doom will win as well because
I don't want it to because I want
Hades-
Hades to win something.
Oh, actually, I should probably find this.
Hades is probably gonna win something. It's up for so much. It's one
It
of these
is.
that gonna-
Hades is like I had the list somewhere. I can't open it because
This
of
is my golden
what I'm
child. It's
recording.
my underdog golden child that I need to win.
I think
it's-
it'll
it's
probably
gonna
win
win.
that direction.
Yeah, I think it will as well, probably. Anyway, the next one is innovation and accessibility. So this is we can touch on this one, but I haven't got much experience in it because I haven't needed to necessarily change stuff. However, I have an example of which I can talk about in a second. So this is recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So you have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperroot, The Last of Us Part 2, and Watch Dogs Legions. Or Watch Dogs Legion.
I do actually have something nice to say about Last of Us Part 2.
This is what
That's it.
I looked through. I looked through these settings when I got The Last of Us 2. The amount of options that are there, I don't like. As someone who hasn't got a
beat the
disability,
game that was blind. Someone beat the game that was blind.
right?
Like
There's
that's
like
the first game they ever got to play and beat, and I was like,
there's
okay.
so many different options
Yeah.
in that game. Like I don't know how certain disabilities will affect certain people, but like I don't know if they necessarily covered everything, but there are so many different things. Like for colorblindness, like you said, someone who was blind was able to play for it. Someone who's deaf could play for it. Like there's so much stuff in that, like in those menus. Like, I remember, I actually turned one of them on because when I started going through it for the collectibles, there was one where it's like, hey, it highlights everything in the world. Like if an enemy is there, it's red. If it's you, you're blue. And if it's like a collectible, it's yellow. And everything else is gray. And it's like that generally helps them. Whereas I turned it on to be like, oh, that's yellow, it means I can collect it. But to someone, that genuinely helps them like play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could help them get through the entire thing where they regularly couldn't. It's awesome what they've done. They literally brought in a specialist for it and got like them like early on in the game development. I looked it up because I was like, yeah, I'm curious.
I just need to quickly reiterate
So-
something. I think I said hyperroot and I meant hyperdot, but it appears as root
Oh,
in
you
my
definitely
head.
said Hyper Root.
Yeah.
No, I saw Root too. I was like,
Yeah.
yep, no, that looks like
No,
Root to me.
yeah. So hyperdot, I've actually I have installed on my Xbox. I just never played it, but I just want to reiterate it's hyperdot, not hyperroot.
That's
So
a
yeah,
good name.
with Watch Dogs I played, but I don't remember that being much. I could be wrong, but I don't remember looking into that a lot. Assassin's Creed is the same, and Grounded, as far as I'm aware, unless they've added stuff in, there was just an arachnophobia mode. So it was a case of if you're scared of spiders, you could make them
Which
look like
made them
floating
even
ghosts.
creepier.
You're
They
right.
were creepy.
They were so creepy.
It
I like
made
the
the,
spider.
it made the game harder to play as well.
Oh, it did because
Did
you
it?
couldn't see them. Yeah, you couldn't see
Yeah,
them
you
properly.
You couldn't see their attacks. Other attacks was in the legs, and obviously the mode got rid of the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Which
a strange
also-
one.
Another thing that
Have
makes
they updated that or like what is
I'm
the
not-
deal with Grounded?
I'm
I
not
haven't played it in
doing it
forever.
since. But another thing that was hard about it is you couldn't choose what you removed. Like some people that eyes affected, some people that legs affected them.
Hmm.
So you had to go all the way to get rid of the legs.
But the eyes stayed there, right? It was just two floating white dots with eyes. I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was like just two. It was just two. It looked like two grapes.
To me, that was
I feel like
scary
that's
because
the
it's
opposite.
ghosts.
I feel like that's the opposite of moving medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help.
It's
'cause it doesn't
definitely
really
it's definitely helpful because I've known people who said it has helped them play.
Yeah,
Right.
But at
I
the
just
same
felt
time,
people, like,
so
actually
many
killing
people getting phobias of spiders from that game.
True.
It
I've
was
never been
creepy.
like I'm indifferent to spiders. I don't like them being on me, obviously. But I'm not like terrified of them either. I'm like in the middle somewhere.
Dude, after we played that game this one time, there was a spider on my wall, and I literally Link can attest to it. I was having a stare down that guy for like 18
like,
hours.
Hey
I
Tails, you want to
remember
play
that.
a game? He's like, I can't. The spider's still on my
Yeah, I was in
wall."
chat. I was in your chat when that was happening. I was like, "What do you mean? Like, just go kill it?" And you're like, "Nope."
Too
Yeah,
high.
I'll be on in
I
2
can
hours
risk it.
when someone can help me get this thing.
keep an eye on it because as soon as he lets his eye go, it's gone. And then he's got
Yeah.
some house down. So
Yeah.
allegedly, in game.
I don't like spiders, but I'll still get rid of them. But to close that, I think just from what is on that The Last of Us menu, there's literally like 5 separate sub menus, and then each of them has like different
That's right.
things.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And if it gets more people in
I
it,
might say whatever I want about the story and the design, but that's amazing. That was a great thing that they did. Mechanic wise, game's flawless.
I think that will win it. But I definitely need to go and actually look into this, especially with Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. I need to actually go and see what's in those lists, because the more people that get into gaming, the better. And like obviously we saw it last year with the adaptive control from Xbox. There are way more innovations starting to happen, which is trying to get more people into games, and I love it. And we see, especially like Dr. Lupo and Twitch obviously helped with Able Games at a. Is it this month or it was last month with the $1 million donation? Like there is innovations moving, and it's definitely starting to take more effect, especially this year. I feel like maybe maybe that's one thing that came from the like quarantining and like with the pandemic was more people are at home, more people want to play games, and some people can't, and so they're making it more accessible to everyone who can.
But also the other thing is that other people can also donate to charities because they're also at home more watching streams and stuff.
Right.
So the people that still do have jobs, yeah, it's good. It's a good cycle. But in certain ways, there's pros to it at least. Silver linings, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. So for best AR VR, again, none of us can really test this, so we'll quickly go with this. You have Dream. Oh, actually, hold on. For the best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. So you have Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I've actually heard good things about all of these, but I think this is Half-Life Alyx's to take.
I've heard mixed things on Iron Man VR, honestly.
Yeah, that's
It was
all of them.
really bored.
Of all of them, that's the one I've had like the most mixed about. Like you say, I've heard this. The Walking Dead is a very good game. Like people were surprised how good it was.
Oh, I wish I could play it, dude. I wish it wasn't only VR, because like I love the Walking Dead Telltale games. So if I could just go back in that world just for a little bit, it'd be great.
Yeah,
Dreams is really good too. I've seen someone that's like obsessed with it and literally has built the entirety of Jack 1 from Dreams.
bro,
And it
really?
looks way better than like the remaster. Yeah, I can send you pictures. I have them on Facebook.
Have you seen this Avatar fan game, which Alex might have? Have you seen it, Alex, as a fan of Avatar?
Oh, they're gonna shut it down. They're gonna shut it down.
Someone has made an Avatar: The Last Airbender game in Dreams. I have to show you, like, try and find you a video of it. It actually looks amazing. Like,
Dreams is great.
it's a tool. It's a great tool.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
I think.
So
Yeah.
if they ever try to pursue it or actually like do anything with it, they're never gonna get anywhere. And I want another Avatar game because the last one we got was like PS2, Xbox 360 days.
Oh yeah, remember that game?
like,
That was a Banner Crusade where you just get the 1000G quickly, right? That's why anyone ever played that game. I know.
Well, not me. I only found out about it after, and then I was like, I guess I'll just grind out the thing.
My brother had it on PlayStation 2. He loved it.
It was different though. There was a difference between it was weird. There was Burning Crusade, and then there was another one. There was like 2 different ones, or there might be even 3.
But Banner
there's,
Crusade is
like,
the second one.
variations. Yeah, but it's worse, and it takes place like immediately at the Earth Kingdom. You start in the Earth Kingdom where the guy's trying to like activate your avatar state from season 2.
Yeah.
I've never seen the show.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's season 2.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. It's really not important though, because I didn't even say anything.
It's also a car game if you talk about Avatar games.
Is there?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it came out in 2014.
Oh.
I don't know what that.
You can't get it anymore.
I definitely still want to get Star Wars Squadrons to go,
Tell me about it.
because I've heard Star Wars Squadrons is good, and I know that game like you can have VR, and I know Vil wants to play it with his flight sticks, and so you had like both of them. You're like full on like immersed, but
I think I watched
Yeah.
Bob Duck and Weave play that. Came out.
I think he was play it.
Yeah, and it's actually really like it actually made you want to get it, but I'm like, I don't like giving more money to EA for Star Wars games.
Which is
Story games
unfortunate.
only.
Because it's a weird one where it's always the case where EA put hardly anything behind it. Like you'd be like remiss for thinking that it didn't come out this year, and then it's like $30, and it's like this is the best EA game, best Star Wars game that's been in a while. And then EA were like, oh shit, we should have actually done more with this. It's like, well, you missed your chance. I think
Yeah,
I think
people would've
Half-Life
been
will win
super
though.
into it. Everyone loved the space combat. That's what they wanted more of in
Battlefront.
I forgot the name of it because I don't even want to. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I miss the old Battlefront, man. There's so many more characters, more things to do, more game modes. It's just underutilized. Just slap the name on it, get it out, get money. Loot boxes, they got rid of those luckily, but that was a whole thing. That almost made Overwatch lose its loot boxes. I remember that. Everyone's like, we gotta get rid of loot boxes in every game now, and it's like, no, leave my Overwatch alone, please, my baby. Because I was still really into it at that point. I don't know. I don't have anything about VR.
Yeah, I mean, Half-Life is the one I think is gonna win purely because I'm surprised it wasn't Game of the Year. Or not.
I voted for it.
I was surprised it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year. Like that was on my list. I was like, I think it was Final Fantasy and something else. I was like, it's gonna be Half-Life and something else. But yeah, I think that's probably a pretty easy shout. Does anyone else disagree?
I think Dreams deserves a good nod.
Yeah, I think it deserves a nod for sure. I think.
Especially since Little Big Planet has won before in games, they could win. Like there is a possibility that
it could,
win an award, but it's just that would be so. I would not expect it. That would be like
huge upset.
Underdog.
Right.
I'm into it.
Okay, so the next one is best community support. So it recognizes a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches. You have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant. I think it's gonna be Fall Guys, and that's not even necessarily me being biased. That Twitter account blew that game up just as much as its streaming did. I
love that dude.
I personally like
Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver 24.
I know his first name. I don't know any like. I know Damage obviously from DMG from Destiny 2, but
that's what I was gonna say with like personally, all of us being like people who kind of are surrounded by Destiny, at least not necessarily always engaged on like mine and your behalf, at least Panda. I think Destiny it has its what they call TWABs. This week at Bungie, like they do it. They keep up to date. They let people know. They constantly are updating it and listening to fan feedback and making sure that they're changing game modes or turn them off in some cases if they aren't working properly. So I can definitely see.
That's the thing. Fortnite also does that though. That's the thing. Like,
did you see what was happening?
Every single week, they do a lot to it. Like, I'm not even saying I like Fortnite because I don't. I absolutely hate the game and I hate that I re-downloaded it. But I think that at the end of the day, that they do a good job with it. But my issue with Destiny is that they weren't transparent or responsive at all to all of the trial stuff. Like that was a huge hole in this year, and their responsiveness category. If we're gonna go like take a tick off of them, they did not support. They took forever to get back to anyone. They still have clips up of people like hacking and cheating, and they haven't gotten them all at all, and that's fine. I'm not saying they got to. I'm just saying that like there's a gap when Trials came out, and that's immediately when I stopped playing.
Alex, as someone who probably is more up to date on it, what could you say, or what would you say is great about like this kind of like community support for Destiny in comparison to something else like that is nominated here? Like, could you see it winning, or do you think that like Fall Guys might take it?
100% see it winning. I disagree wholeheartedly on Panda's statement on Trials. They was very clear about it. If you just went on Reddit, your DMG was answering posts and posts and posts and posts and posts and posts. Cosmo responds to posts and posts and posts and posts.
I'm not saying they're not responding. I'm saying they're not doing anything.
There wasn't much they could do at the time. They did their best, and I get it. It was half baked. It didn't quite well.
Yeah.
But then you also, none of these games I could tell you an artist. I could tell you names of artists at Bungie. I could tell you some of the lead designs. I could tell you like voice actors. Well, I'm sure if you was into Fortnite and Valorant, you know who the voice actors are.
Yeah.
All of these take an active thing in the Bungie posts. They interview, they tell that. There's obviously every year there's a VDoc or Vidoc, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells you absolutely everything about what we've been doing. And again, in all of these games, you can see the love that the devs have. But I think when it comes to Bungie, they truly love and play their own game.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that.
I could see it winning for sure. However, I actually have. So I mean, I voted for Fortnite, not Fortnite, for Fall Guys because like I think that Twitter stuff this year. I think it'll be between Destiny and Fall Guys to me. However, there is one other game on that list which I think could possibly take it, and that is No Man's Sky. Yeah, exactly. I think if reading that full statement,
that game has done insane.
Right, it says inclusive of social media and game updates / patches. That game, like not even just this year. I know it's been like a 2 or 3 year journey since it first came out, or it came out a while ago. But like this year, I feel like it's been everyone's talked about it a lot more this year. I don't know if it's necessarily because it started being included with like PlayStation stuff, and then it was on Game Pass. But like a lot of people are talking about it and like saying how much better it's gotten this year specifically. I could honestly see it like
I
possibly
honestly
get a
kind of
nod.
want them to win it. Now that you like bring it up and like I
Right.
think it back to it, because like I gave it a chance after they did their first year update, and then I went back to it even after the second one. There's a lot of content there. There's a lot to do if you want. Like once again, and they have been very responsive to all of the backlash. It was not
Right.
good. Everyone hated it because there was no multiplayer.
Oh, it was such a
But-
weird thing at the beginning. I like from the moment that game got announced, I was like, that looks kind of
If you
cool.
go far
It's-
enough,
yeah.
you'll find someone maybe.
It's one of these games that everyone's gonna overhype, which is why I'm worried about Cyberpunk. And then it's gonna not fall on its. Oh, this game fell on its face. Wasn't what people were expecting at all.
I don't know if you've heard, but Cyberpunk's already getting some flack, and it's not even out yet.
Really?
I don't know if you want to talk about it here. I'm okay to.
We can talk
but
about
I
it
don't think it's
afterwards.
really, we can talk about it after.
Or,
yeah, if you
or
want.
we can talk about it later on if it comes up for like a hey, what are you
Yeah.
looking forward to?
Yeah.
But
I'll look forward to it. But
Princess,
no, yeah, I picked Fall Guys.
have you
just-
played No Man's Sky, Princess?
I have.
Have you played recently?
I have played it within the last like 4 months.
Because I haven't played. The last time I played it was literally when it was only out on PS4. It was still first person when I played it. I did not like that game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I watched videos and I was like, "This is terrible. Why are people like grind? People are streaming it. Like that was like one of my first experiences, like watching a stream. Like, why is someone doing this for so long? This looks terrible. I don't." And now it's like fun. I jump around, I hop around, you know, grind resources, and it's way quicker. But before it was super slow because there wasn't anything to do. They just slowed you down.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
Well-
I had fun playing it. The last time I played it, Mexi, Nick, and Sam and we were all playing it together, and like
Nice.
you can. I'm one of those people, and I think I've played Minecraft with almost everyone here. Maybe not Ryan, but
I think I played with Ryan either. Yeah.
you guys know, like
Nice.
I am a person with games like that to where it's like here, like you can do things, but like you don't have to do things. You can just kind of like walk around and do. That's what I do in games. I get very distracted really easily. So I'm like, oh hey, look, there's that bright plant like way over there. Let me go in and inspect it. And the guys are like, you know, building the base and doing all the important things because that's what you're supposed to do in those kind of games. I think it's really fun. I can't speak to like the community side of it because I
Mhm.
don't know. I'm one of those people, which makes no sense given my job, but I'm terrible at like keeping up with games that I'm not actively
Right.
playing.
No, that's completely fair
like,
though. I think.
their social media stuff. I do think I agree about the Fall Guys thing with, you know, their Twitter just like they went from like nothing to being huge because they had a brilliant person in charge of their Twitter.
And it was also like right before the beta too. It wasn't even before the game came
Yeah.
out. Like
Right.
that's it.
And that to me like that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I do in my job with clients and stuff, being in charge of their socials. That to me to be able to do something like that, just that speaks to like, you know, they knew that they had it right when they hired that guy. In terms of Destiny, I think that their community managers do a phenomenal job in terms of keeping up with like, you know, what's broken, what are people complaining about, let's go figure out all this stuff. They do a really good job. I haven't been so much on the Reddit side of it, so I don't know.
Reddit's
Like
pretty
I'm
good.
a Reddit newbie. I go on there and I'm like, I don't know how to read this, so I'm just gonna leave. I'll go back
It's
to
the
Twitter.
front page of the internet. What do you mean? You gotta start there.
but
I read
but
it on Reddit.
I like
That's pretty
I can't speak to, you know, their like
Responsiveness. or whatever.
talking and yeah on that site. But in terms of Twitter, you know, people will respond to stuff that they tweet and they're very quick to come back. They're transparent with what they know. They respond really quickly, all that kind of stuff. And Destiny,
job.
I mean, game updates and patches, like I mean, it's an ongoing game, so like it's kind of hard for me to be like all of these games are like they're consistent, they're ongoing. I don't feel like there are any games in this specifically that are like, oh, they fail on the side of like updates
Right.
and patches. If there's a problem, they address it. Like it's not like
Yeah, and the one thing we haven't.
obviously like the small things. Like they all have like,
Sorry.
okay, weekly. No, you're good. Weekly, like we're gonna go and do these updates and patches. So they kind of have everything like already timetabled out. And if it's like game breaking, they're gonna address it right then and there.
Yeah.
But
Try to put out a hot fix at the very least, very quickly.
Right.
I think for me, it's to come down to Fall Guys versus Destiny. The
Yeah,
biggest negative factor for Destiny is up until very recently with a new engine rework, their patches were notoriously slow, which was the best they could do. And I know they was working and they'd be very, very clear about their doing it.
Yeah.
But the spaghetti code and like it being like 4-5 months of just one gun dominating.
I'm really
I
glad I
mean,
didn't play
right.
for 5 months.
Thank- that's kind of the harder thing. Whereas Fall Guys is kind of the opposite, is kind of great for the memes and Oliver being hilarious and Tim the Tap Man. That was a very
Mhm.
big thing around that he memed the ever living shit out of Tim.
No,
Right.
but like that's the thing. Like they were going after. There was hundreds of people that were just starting up games trying to mess with him.
Yeah.
If they were in this game, they would back out and wait for him to start another game. Then he'd start another. Like
It was a
So I think-
moment this year.
If I
Yeah.
would personally vote,
Like I was there.
I
Well,
think.
Apex Legends 2. That's another thing we're not even haven't been mentioned. Sorry
See,
to kick off,
this
Alex,
is the thing
but
because one of you guys talked about it or said it a minute ago, like the
Apex is good.
depending on how close you are to that community, because like for you as someone who plays a lot of Valorant, or at least used to, I can't like out of all of them, that is the one I could at least talk about in terms of I don't really see many people talking about
So-
it. It gets updated like every season, and to me, at least that could be wrong, and that's about it. You see a new character, you see a new map sometimes, and then
So I
nothing
could
else.
talk about Valorant's like transparency. They've talked a lot about fixing the toxicity in their Riot community, just like they did with League of Legends, and they haven't done literal jack about it. I don't know if you want me to curse because you might bleep
I
it
don't
out,
mind.
so I'm just gonna ignore it. I think I've already done it, but I mean, like Valorant's like the weird one where they say a lot, but I don't feel like they ever back it up. Like I've
Right.
not seen them once back it up, and I know personally, like I know you guys, most of you know Chloe. She gets bullied the ever living crap out of herself over it, and she's great. She can snipe people like left and right in that game. I can't do that. She gets aces with like just a op. Like I can't do that, and she still gets crapped on because she's a 14-year-old girl.
As an outsider, the only time I ever see Valorant talk about is when someone's being sexist or racist, and
That's the
not-
thing, and they don't fix it. They don't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's even like right now. I think the NA Opens are happening, right? And I see it like on the front page of Twitch, and that's about it. No one's talking about it, and so like
It doesn't have that pull. Like it had that initial burst, and then like even Ninja's been back on it, still didn't do anything, didn't bring the game
Right.
back. It just
I mean, we could talk about
Watching him play in the
Hypescape
game.
another time as well, because that game I looked at it earlier, 700 people watching it earlier. That was it. No, wait, that's wrong. It was 70, I think. No, yes, it was 70 people watching Hypescape. I was like, oh my gosh.
Hyperscape. Well, the thing is, like, I think Apex does what Hyperscape wanted to do, but better, and it's withstood the test of time, even though I thought it might kill it.
I think that yeah, I don't think that any of the other games even have a shot. I think it's going to come down to Destiny and Fall Guys.
Mm.
And I think in terms of if you're looking at strictly like the title of the award, Best Community Support, I think in that regard, it's going to be Destiny that's going to take it. If you're talking about like community as a whole and not just specifically like community managers, I think Destiny's going to take it. And I don't
Yeah.
think any of the other games like Fortnite, I mean, there's a community of people that play Fortnite, but it's the same thing with like with
not interconnected,
Apex and Valorant. Yeah, it's a lot of it's a PvP. Like it's all PvP. It's not like we can go and do this thing together PvE. Destiny has like the community events and stuff that they do, which
Raids.
Fall Guys, yeah, raids, like they have big events that that come out that the community comes together as a whole to participate in and stuff like that. So I think in that regard, if people look at the category how they should be in terms of what it actually is for, and not just, oh well, I play more Fall Guys than I do Destiny. I think Destiny's gonna win it.
Right. I can see either
Well,
of
that's the
them
thing
winning
is like
it.
it's just the at the end of the day, all these categories like we can vote and we put in. I think it's 10%, right? It's
Yeah.
like the actual amount of voting power we have as people. The 90% is just them. So it's like we get a little bit.
Yeah,
Which is
because
fine.
if you were to look at it, like I like to look at it, like I mean, like what I think should win versus what I think will win is it's not necessarily always the same or different, but like as someone thinking, like you can look at who is on the voting jury, like for example, let's say IGN. Who is IGN going to vote for in that category? Like to me, as someone who, like as I said earlier, a lot of us are involved around Destiny. I think people are, because IGN people, if they have to vote as a whole, they're gonna be like, oh, remember when Fall Guys took over Twitter for like a month? I feel like they'll vote on that because it's like, hey, they did this. I think if it was full on like half and half, I think Destiny might have more of a chance. I think Fall Guys will probably take it. But this is why I brought up the No Man's Sky thing.
They also got a lot. Oh, sorry. No,
oh no, I was just saying. I think that's what's why the No Man's Sky thing. That's why I brought up earlier was because journalists might think, oh, remember that No Man's Sky turned it around this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that. So when they like so quickly updated it just to get rid of the names, and yeah, we were annoyed because we didn't have our names anymore, but they like fixed that real quick. They fixed that in like a week turnaround, honestly. Like, because that was only like, I don't want to say that people didn't start messing with it. I mean, it could have been longer than that, but from what I know, like the whole like messed up name thing where everything looked like, a giant F or like, a penis. I think that it was fine. Like, I think they fixed it very quickly. Now they have a new name and system put in place that you can change your name. It's not great, but I mean, at least you get to customize it now. So do I, but at the end of the day, I liked being 1122, and now I miss 1122.
Right. I can't say. I said I think mine was 2212. I literally forgot it now. But it's unfortunate. Should we move on though, because we did spend a long time on that one. We still got a few to get through. Best mobile game. For the best game playable on a mobile device. Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix are the nominations.
You haven't played that?
No.
I've seen it. It keeps popping up on my phone, and I'm like, I don't want to download this. Go away.
I think it's one of them like match 3 games, isn't it? I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, another Candy Crush. Yeah.
Did you play Legends of Runeterra?
I did. I played on PC. I didn't play it on mobile, but I have played on PC. It is actually a lot of fun, but I think Hearthstone does it better. It's just like it's a thing of like what's been around longer though. Like I don't know. I also played it in early beta. I had to sign up for it.
Does anyone think that
Call of Duty Mobile, I played it, but it's not great. I only played it for the zombie stuff.
I think Among Us is gonna win it. I think this is one of those categories where it's like it's gonna take it. Like I think COD might be the only other one that might do it, because I mean Genshin Impact is cool, but do most people play it on their phone or PC? I think most people play or PlayStation. I don't know if anyone.
You need a really new phone. You need a really new phone to play Genshin on your phone, from what I've heard. Like last year or this year, phone wise.
What were you gonna say,
Alex?
For what it is, the fact that you can play Genshin on mobile is insane.
Oh, absolutely! Like it definitely should deserve some sort of like nod, but I think as like as a game, like again, just as a like, hey, what's something that was cool this year that is on mobile is Among Us, which is a weird one because again, a lot of like I was thinking would have been nominated for anything this year because it's not a game that came out this year. I think it could be argued what came out in 2017, but then I don't think COD Mobile came out this year, right? It came out beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, Among Us has been out for how long now?
Like 3-4 years.
Yeah, and then it just randomly blew up. Same thing with Legends of Runeterra though, because I had the beta last year. I don't even think the beta started this year. So, but the full release could have been this year. I don't know. So,
I think Among Us will probably win it though.
But I think Among Us should win most of the categories it's in because I just enjoy it that much. Like I've like, it's one of those games where I don't get sick of watching it, no matter what I'm doing. Even if I don't feel like playing it, I can watch a YouTube video of it. I can watch a stream of it. I can just hang out and chill with some Among Us, even if it's on in the background.
Ever since September, I watch an hour of Among Us before bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Among Us is something that I think is watchable. It's like I've been like when I was
proximity chat now, like it's.
Oh my god, we need to do more of that.
So good. I have it downloaded. I'm down.
We're gonna do it at some point. When it was at its height, where I was playing a lot of that and Fall Guys, it's weird with me. I can't watch people play Fall Guys really. Like if I know people, I can watch it. Whereas Among Us, I can watch anyone play Among Us. Fall Guys is like. I need to know you kind of because I can't get that connection. Because I'd rather be playing it, whereas Among Us is easily watchable as well.
No, I get that.
But yeah, is everyone else kind of the same thing? We think it's probably gonna be Among Us.
Yeah.
Next one is best indie game. So for outstanding creativity and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. I see you already pumping your fist. You have Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. I think it's going to come down to between, again, Fall Guys and Hades.
I wouldn't knock Spelunky out.
Yeah, Spelunky, like
2's
all of these, I mean, all these games, the fact, the fact that they're all nominated, like I've heard really good things about Spiritfarer as well.
Yeah, I finally watched some of that, and it's pretty good. I'm gonna pick it up.
I think Spelunky does have a lot of fans inside the industry as well who might vote on that jury, but I think this will probably be won by Hades more than anything. I feel like it's one of these...
I think Fall Guys could also win this though.
Yeah.
And then knock Hades out, and then Hades wins Game of the Year. Come on, let's go, my boy Zacharias.
Hades is one of those like
for him, dude.
What people call like a critical darling, where it's like it's one of these games where the industry loves it, and so it will get one of these. It will win a lot of awards. I feel like, and so I think it will win it.
I'm really hopeful.
I really want to play Spiritfarer though. I have it downloaded, but I just haven't.
It looks amazing, like character story. Art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that dumb game we found late night on Game Pass is up for so many awards. I didn't realize.
What, Carrion? Oh yeah, people love it.
It was like
It's a lot of fun. Like it's just dumb fun, and it's
Yeah.
just, there's a story-ish, and you just go through it. It's a retro game. A lot of people wouldn't, have an itch.
I literally saw the picture like 4:30 in the morning. I was like look at this.
I have it again. I have downloaded it. Want to give it a go for sure. The next one, which is why I didn't fully talk about during community thing, is best ongoing. So awarded to a game for outstanding development and of ongoing content that evolves the player's experience over time. You have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. I think Destiny's gonna win this one. I believe
I voted for Destiny.
So did I. I believe Destiny won this last year. I think, unless it was Apex. I definitely know Destiny won something because I remember Luke Smith getting up on stage.
They either won the community one or they won this one.
Yeah.
I think it might be ongoing last year, so they might not get it this year. Then they might give a little gimme to someone else. Then instead of giving it to Destiny 2 years in a row.
This is the first year that Warzone's there, so maybe because it gets a lot of updates there, but
Warzone shouldn't be on this list at all. I don't know. I have very strong beliefs about Call of Duty Warzone.
I don't.
None of them productive.
I don't. Okay, so like I get the thought process of ongoing, as in like games that came out and then like they're still played and they're still like they're updated in real time and all that stuff. Like I get that, but I don't understand why battle royales are in this category because you can change aspects of it, but like literally, where is it? The last sentence or the last part of the sentence is that evolves the player experience over time. Apex, Fortnite, and Warzone, you can get to point B by different means, but literally you're going from point A to point B. It's not you're going from A to Z now instead. Haha, we got you. Like it doesn't make sense to me that I mean, again, this is just my personal opinion, but I don't see battle royales as being something that is evolving player experience from the time they come out to wherever they are now. Like Fortnite, sure, they have the season things, they add stuff, they add in a couple different like weapons you can use, they add in some different mechanics or whatever, but it doesn't evolve the player experience in the way that like a game like Destiny does, where they've literally added new game modes into the game. You have new stories, like all this different content that comes in like throughout the entirety of the game. No Man's Sky just in and of itself is a very different game. I think that this category should have just been those two. If the options were going to not include BRs, it should just be between Destiny.
I think BRs need their own category now. I completely agree.
I think the reason
that Fortnite's at least they used to evolve it, but then when they switched to season like chapter 2 or whatever, that did not evolve the player experience. It actually regressed the player experience quite a bit. They vaulted so much and they changed the entire map. That was not evolving it. That was they evolved certain gameplay mechanics and map things. Like you can blow up like the gas stations now. There's more stuff like that, and they did start iterating it more and more. But at first, like they took out so much. There was no vehicles. There was nothing. There was like started back at like ground zero again, and then we built back up again, which is fine. But it's weird to me because I don't know if it's ongoing content at that point. It's
Yeah.
like,
Though if I was to make any sort of argument for any of those in terms of the battle royales, I think Fortnite is the one that like, I mean, it doesn't, again,
sure.
it's not necessarily about the evolving, but like the fact that it changes stuff a lot. But it's not even that, it's the whole the limited time modes and like the community. They always push forward the community made maps nowadays, and the fact that you can do that is like, there's a whole separate ecosystem to it that we don't necessarily fully look at. Whereas I feel like with Apex and Warzone, they don't do that much. You have like events every so often, but it's the same with Apex like you do with Overwatch. You have like those. There's one at Halloween. There's one at Christmas. Like we're seeing it now, like the Hollow Bash or whatever is back.
Yeah.
I think this is Destiny to win it. I think personally.
Yeah.
Which is why I think
No Man's Sky definitely has a good. I think it has a run in the race at least.
Yeah,
I think
with let's put it this way, with this one and with best community, I think one of them will someone's gonna win in one, and then the other one will win in another. Which is why I think again, No Man's Sky could win here. It's a strange one. I think, yeah, it's gonna be between those two. I feel like because again, with the jury votes as well, I think no one's. Maybe
Fortnite won something last year like this, and it pissed me off.
I should have.
I think they won this. I think they won this one. I think that's what it was. I think they won ongoing, and I think that Destiny won the community support last year.
That sounds right. We'll see, I guess.
I just don't like Fortnite winning awards because they're not doing anything groundbreaking, and they haven't added on to the game. I don't feel like they've added on enough to make it like updated. Like Destiny, they've taken out planets, like completely took out content that we all did multiple times over and over again on those planets, and now they're changing it and they're going to a new like chapter, and I think that's really the definition of evolving, but I don't know.
So I think I'm a very different viewpoint to everyone here.
Go on.
I 100% think these BRs deserve to be on this list.
I'm not against them at all.
Apex Legends is just introduced the new map. This new map is everybody loves. It's hilarious. You can 40 death. There's new cars.
It's taken a year though to get this, right?
The new-ish thing where you can craft your stuff. That is a great addition to Apex. That is great RNG protection. I think that's great. And our friend Remy, he absolutely loves this game. And just talking to him for the past few months, the game has changed a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
I'll do Destiny last because that's the game I played the most. Warzone, I'd say, has changed the least out of these BRs, but they have been changing the map a little. They've tweaked so many guns, and every season they add new guns. And in like 3 days' time, it's been compatible completely with the new. So across Cold War, across Modern Warfare, all of these guns will be inside of Warzone, which would be great.
Crazy, yeah.
That means again, this was probably more of a thing for next year,
right?
When we see like whatever the next Infinity is it Infinity Ward? Yeah, Infinity Ward game will be, and we see how they've integrated it all together. I think that's will be the time we can really give Warzone its merit of ongoing. But it's a great BR. It's fun to play.
I don't think it is Infinity Ward, but I'm just saying. I think it's Sledgehammer next year.
It's fun to play. It's fun to play. No, Sledgehammer doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, really? I know they got taken off of this year's one, but
they help like with the other games now because they helped with Treyarch finishing up Black
Ops.
Then
Fortnite, I get, is not changed much, but its basic principle has been tweaked and it's more perfect, and there's fine tunings here and there that are always great. And for all of its merits, like you both said, every 6 to 9 weeks, there's a huge event that everybody on the internet talks about.
Oh yeah, I was there fighting Galactus on the last one. I was off, and so I was like, I'm playing it.
I was like, nah.
And then No Man's Sky again, just like I can't remember when the DLC was. June maybe.
There's constant updates for it, as far as I'm aware.
The lead design was talking about this. I think it was pineapples. There was something really innocuous that everybody was going mental for, and it was hilarious. All of these games are great ongoing.
Oh, absolutely. I think.
I think that. Yeah.
I think like to what you were saying about like Warzone being kind of looking at what comes from the next year. Even though I'm a fan of Apex, I'm pretty sure obviously you have new stuff added in each season, but everyone for the longest time was asking for that new map, and I swear it took over a year for a new map to come out, didn't it? I swear it was season.
It's one of those
3?
circumstances, though. Yeah, it's one of the circumstances, though, of like, do you want to wait for it to be good, or do you want something that's like half baked and like garbage?
Yeah, because
Right.
everybody end, right?
Because before that map came out, they made iterations to both other maps. Like, not that I like the ones that they did to the good old train map. I missed the train. I'm sad still. But like they made changes, so like they did update those other maps, even though while we were waiting for the third map. So
I can see all of them
Also,
definitely
Alex,
taking a chance.
you didn't say anything about your baby.
Yeah, I was going to get to it.
Your baby.
I think this year is going to be Destiny's hardest year to win ongoing.
Oh, really?
Because as much as I love the game, and I think it's great that they've done it, they literally removed 60% of the game.
Yep.
Which
it was bold.
Is so bold. And right now it's not paying off, but it was never
No.
going to in the first 2 months.
No.
No, yeah.
But
I'm okay with it because I don't want to hear Ash Ramir's voice ever again.
the things that the systems they've involved, that they've done, like literally this past 2 weeks, no, it's been a month now. The past month of the DLC released, we have seen more updates to the game and tweaks than we had for months. How fast they can disable stuff now and do updates. There was literally an update 2 weeks after the DLC came out to Stasis, and that would have never happened a year ago because the system just wouldn't have allowed it.
Yeah.
So I think
it's awesome.
Again, give it a year with the Witch Queen, and I think as long as they hold to their promises and they add stuff, I think Destiny will be more than truly deserving ongoing.
We'll see it again next year.
That's fair.
Okay, we still have 8 things to go through.
I want No Man's Sky to win, though.
I would love to see it win.
Because I think it deserves it finally. I don't think it deserved it the other years. I think now it finally has gotten its niche. It's a little niche.
So the next few ones, just because we still have a few stuff to get through, we've already been here for an hour and a half, so we can try and pick up slightly. So with games for impact, so for the thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message, you have If Found, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, and Through the Darkest of Times. I've only heard of 3 of these. I've heard of Kentucky Route, which came out a few years ago, but now it's come out on consoles. Spiritfarer and Tell Me Why, which I think is going to win it. I could be wrong, but like,
so
go on.
I've only heard of Spiritfarer.
I actually looked them up because I was curious, because I was like, I haven't heard any of these, so I have no impact on any of these. So I looked them up, and If Found looks like it's like one of those super like cerebral, like, here's a story about depression. And I'm like, I will always be down for that, so I voted for that one because I think it's important to talk about.
Yeah. Tell Me Why is the only one I've played. Tell Me Why is it's by the people that made Life is Strange. And so it's tells a story of 2 kids, and one of them transitioned. And so it's about transgender and about like the rights that this character like looked at and like how they now live. And there's other like it touches on like LGBTQ plus stuff as well. And it's not necessarily at the forefront of the game. Like they try not to be like preachy with it, and like they spoke to like charities and they'd worked hard with people for it. And so I think just in terms of like I agree with you. I think If Found looks like a game where it does really well for one of these like indie darlings. I think just in terms of what I think people are going to vote for, Tell Me Why was at the front. It was something that Microsoft pushed because it's a Microsoft exclusive. I think it might be in the consciousness of more people, especially because it came out so recent as well. Yeah, I think that might win it, but I could see, I mean, Spiritfarer touches, I know, upon death. I don't know what the other ones necessarily talk about.
I think Tell Me Why is probably going to win, and I'm okay with it.
It's definitely a good game.
Like you said, like, it's all that stuff, like, and it's not being over preachy about it and like almost glorifying it and putting it on a pedestal. It's just like, nope, it's just
this person is just a man now, and that's all you need to know. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Did anyone else want to touch on that?
I've unfortunately not played or even heard of any of these games, but they're all telling stories that need to be told.
Yeah. I forgot about Tell Me Why, honestly, until you said it, and I'm like,
yeah,
make sure I touch on that.
As all of, like, I mean, if anyone who is watching, if you want to try out, I can attest to at least Spiritfarer and Tell Me Why. If you have PC or Xbox, you can play these on Game Pass. And I believe
True.
Kentucky Route Zero might also be coming. But
I don't even
yeah,
know what that like. I don't like. I feel like I looked it up, but it still didn't make sense to me. So I'm like, okay, I'll just wait until it comes. I can play it.
I definitely, I think it found like this from seeing this picture here. I want to look at it for sure. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and/or performance capture. So you have Ashley Johnson as Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey as Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. I'm gonna butcher these names. Is it Daisuke Suju as Jing
Suji.
Sakai for Ghost of Tsushima, Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades, and Naji Jetta as Miles Morales in Miles Morales.
It's a hard like pick, honestly.
So as someone like who hasn't played Hades, can you tell me why it's the voice actor of Hades that is nominated? Is he like, does he take on like a huge role?
No, yeah.
Like,
No, he's like the main like driving story point because you're trying to escape from like hell, and he's like the final boss. So
Right.
like you constantly keep going back and you're learning more about like your mom and stuff. It's a very like how it's woven together is very, without spoiling anything because I know it is very very fresh. But I don't know. It's very he does a great job with the voice acting. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Ashley Johnson, also surprisingly, because I still like Ellie despite everything. I still like Ellie.
I think they all have a good chance. I think it's going to come down to both The
I
Last
think
of
Miles
Us.
Morales will win, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
honestly, I hope
he
wins.
like Hades is my like the least one I knew about, and like I don't really hear about. It's a same with Jin. Like I've seen a lot of people talk recently about Miles Morales, obviously. And so I knew when I went into playing Miles Morales about his nomination, and I actually, to me, like playing the game, I really like the character of his mum more. Like not necessarily more as a character, but like her performance. Like I felt more emotional seeing her performance and like the way she interacted with him, and I felt like it was any scene that she was in brought out. It was just a weird one to me.
That's fair, but that's the thing. It's like it's the main character ish.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't play as Hades,
Exactly.
so that's where that falls apart.
Yeah.
You play as plenty as Abby, plenty.
I think it will come down between Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey though, because I mean
I love Laura Bailey too. That's the thing. I want to make sure that's on the record, and I put that out there. I love Laura Bailey as a voice actor and as a person. Hate her in this game.
Oh, I think
Good job.
I know you guys. Oh, did you play The Last of Us 2, Alex?
I just watched you play it.
I know, just with those two characters, both of them you can make an argument for. Like, they both have like the amount of like effort that must go into the performances, because they're, especially with Abby, there's a like you hate her, and then in most cases you still hate her. But for me, I really got to like her again, and like there's a development. Go on.
Never thought I would say this, but by the end of Last of Us 2, I fucking hate Ellie.
Exactly, right? But in that same thing, there is like
That's
that
my
performance.
point. That's the problem.
No, I think that's the point of the game.
I think
there's
It's so polarly separate from the
I don't
first
think
game.
this is the place we talk about. I think wait for the game of the year for this.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But both of them give like such exceptional performances, and like you're rooting for them at some points, you're hating on them at some points, and I think
Both
either of those.
women went through so much for them performances.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally seen a clip of Laura Bailey. Like, she's like, "Hey, here's how I did the like." I'm not going to spoil it, but the very last scenes where things are happening, and there's like a knife going into Abby's shoulder. Like, there's like a clip of Laura Bailey, like this how she's literally there in front of a mic to pretend she didn't, and she's like screaming. It's like the amount of takes that they must have to do for that.
Oh yeah, no, it's honestly, it's like it's the same as acting. Like it's crazy. Like they put so much effort and energy into it. That's why all these people deserve the award, but unfortunately they can't. So I am voting Ellie because despite everything, I still love her.
Great. They both did great.
Yeah.
Naji did really well too. I've not seen Ghost of Tsushima, and
I've seen very little. I've only seen what Ryan's played.
Not far enough into Hades to say Logan couldn't
Right.
over the guy.
I'd rather do Zagreus, honestly. I like Zagreus' voice actor. I like his quippiness. He's got good comedic timing. I think that would make more sense than Hades, but
Yeah, so I was
I
a
don't
bit
make the
confused.
awards.
I think just as like a personal thing, like if I'd vote for Abby or Ellie, I mean, I am more of a Team Abby person. I think I would vote for her simply as well because, I mean, Ashley Johnson's already won for Ellie in the past, and Laura Bailey is so prolific as a voice actress, and she's in so many other things. Like, I think she finally deserves to win an award for something, which is why I would love to see her win something.
Oh yeah. No, that's
Um,
the thing. Is like, and she did a great job of making me hate her. That's the thing. That's the
Exactly.
thing I do. Like, she did like even with Skylar from Breaking Bad, completely offshoot, but she did a great job making me hate her. Like, and that's a talent unto itself.
Link.
Yeah, you got anything to say about that, Princess?
Nope.
Did you watch a lot of people play Last of Us?
I watched you and Panda play it. But I don't know.
I only played it
Those
to a certain
games
point.
are games that I like I'll watch someone play it, but I'm also kind of half paying attention. I'm not personally as invested in those kind of games. I think honestly, and I know he's not throughout the whole game, but the guy that you play as in the first game,
Joel.
yes. I think that I would have rather him be an option.
I mean, it's
His
fair.
voice actor. Just because the little bit that he is in the second game, it's just and it
He has
could
an impact. Yeah, he has a strong
yeah,
impact.
he does. I didn't even watch anyone play through the first game. I only watched playing through the second game. And I'm sitting there but
What's
he
happening?
was good. He actually in the little bit that he was in the game that I was watching, I felt more connected to that character than I did to
Panda will
a lot
get
of the
there.
other ones.
I'm getting so warmed up. I'm good to go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Joel is a great dad.
I mean, Troy Baker voiced him.
Joel-
Troy Baker is also a great voice actor.
Troy Baker's best performance is Joel. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like Troy Baker. That's why I like it. I can differentiate and hear him in all his other his roles. This one is not him, and he's even said it. Like, he didn't want to do this one. He wanted to be in Uncharted, which eventually he did end up doing. But when he first went to the studio, that's what he wanted to do, and he ended up doing this role, and he blew it out of the park with the first one and the second one.
He is in
He's a very good
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Want to cry?
And as soon as I heard the guy mention his first words, I'm like, that's Troy Baker. It becomes a weird thing when you know the voice. You're like,
the same thing with Nolan North.
Yeah.
Like, even when he tried to do Cade in Destiny.
Well, that's the thing, right? I'll just quickly mention we're talking about with Fortnite earlier with the event. He voices Iron Man in this year's Avengers game. He also voiced Iron Man in that event. And the weird thing was, I was playing as Deadpool during that event, and I had Rocket Raccoon on my back. He has voiced all three of those characters at one point in his career, and so I was like, oh my god!
That's
I was like,
awesome,
yes!
honestly. That's why I like, but that's the thing. I don't get I get fatigue, I think, from Troy Baker's voice. I don't get the same from Nolan North because he always puts a
really?
little bit different spin on it. For me lately, I think it's been grinding on me more. Maybe just because I really don't like Last of Us 2 and I'm really letting that impact it. But look at there. Look at there.
Okay, so the next one
It's
is
my most hated game right now, Alex. Okay.
best audio design. So recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design, you have Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and The Last of Us Part 2. I know you were talking earlier about design. Oh, sorry, about the music in Doom Eternal, Alex. I'm not sure. This is more about, I guess, sound effects and.
Yeah.
So again, I can't talk about Doom or Half-Life in this case. Resident Evil, I don't really get why it's here. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like maybe it needed a nomination somewhere.
Well, maybe that, or they just all the different ways they've captured the audio for the zombies and stuff, or different sound effects in the game. They could have went way out of their way for that. I don't know.
think you're also probably forgetting how great the fire and the nemesis of voice was. Like that battle on the roof, the fire crackling, his screams. I think that is some great audio design, some of the best of 2020.
I guess.
And especially
Marcelo did a good job too.
Yeah.
I think Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to win it, and I would like to see it win. I think, here it says I voted for The Last of Us.
Doom, actually.
Because
I like the gutturalness. You feel like you're doing what you're doing, right? It doesn't feel out of place or I don't know.
Out of the ones I play, I'm just thinking more about the ambient stuff. Like Ghost of Tsushima has all these ambient noises and the wind and like you be walking past somewhere and all of a sudden you hear wind chimes and it's that's specifically been designed that way. You know what I mean? And you have all the weapons clashing and hearing off in the distance like a horse coming, and there's so much design put into that game. I mean, I can't. I mean, Doom Eternal could also be like that, but I haven't played it, so I don't know.
It's not the scale; it's the different kind of thing.
Yeah, and Half-Life Alyx could also be really great for sound design. I don't know.
I want
a
a
strange one.
vibe so bad. I want an HTC vibe so bad.
Yeah, is anyone
Bucket
else?
list.
So are you saying about
The
Resident
vibe.
Evil, Alex? Would you like to see that win then? Or did you think there might be something better?
I didn't hear The Last of Us through my own ears. I only heard it through stream, so compression and stuff. I'm not certain
Yeah.
how great that is without it being compressed, but it was pretty good for people's dreams.
Oh no, it definitely like they did a lot. Like the noise in this one's way better than the original, and like just the mechanics and stuff. They did a good job with it.
What's is it the Rat King they call the monster?
Oh my god, yes.
The guttural screeches from the clickers, and especially that one
Yeah.
was great.
I can't wait to replay that game. I'll be doing it again soon. I can't
Oh,
wait.
I'll be doing it soon. With that, with
Oh, no, yeah,
that's
yeah,
my best wishes.
You have to, because you know what you said, you made a bet on it. Anyway, best score and music. This is where it comes up to. So for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original sound, song, and all licensed soundtracks, you have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and The Last of Us. So I guess you can talk more about Doom on this one, Alex. Like, I know Doom's known for its music, but I don't know fully. Like, is it literally like rock like every like minute, or is it like?
No, it's more, the rock is more when you're in an arena and all of a sudden so say you walk through, it's nothing. You just hear like your screeches here and there, and then all of a sudden you'll hear it booming guitar, and all of a sudden there's like 10, 15, 20 enemies running at you, and all of a sudden this composition by Mick Gordon, sorry, is just in your ears, and you're in the moment. There is still existing more mixer dun where you can see me concentrating, talking, all of a sudden it clicks in, and I've gone into this feral mode of jumping, dumping, diving, chainsawing zombies, and then all of a sudden I'm just back to normal. It takes you into a trance, this music. Just the composition is great.
It's a great vibe. If you want to talk about Final Fantasy VII, then I guess I don't know. You're done, not done, Alex? No, keep going.
I think the best, like, if you watch the first, I think literally the first minute of the game, where you see the Doomslayer ship pull into Earth, and that's the very first time you hear the main soundtrack. I think if anybody was to just watch that, they would understand just how great the music is, because that is the best example of starting a game, especially from 2020.
I can see again. This is another one where I can see all the win it. For me personally, just because like if I have to take one thing away from this game completely, this is what I preach about. This I would love to see Ori and the Will of the Wisps win this one. The music in the Ori games is so fucking good. Like it's actually ridiculous. Like it makes you feel something. Like you said with openings, like it's like, hey, here's Ori and the owl friend, and it's like. It's like all happy, and then all of a sudden bad things happening, and it changes with the music as well. And like just seeing all the love they put into it, recording, and I get goosebumps every time I hear like that score. And like
I think the point of music in games in general, there are some games that I have played. This is coming from a musician. Like there are some games that I've played where I'm like, I hate that this music is here because it doesn't serve a purpose. Whereas when you play games like Ori, which heavily leans on like creating an emotional environment based on sound and not so much on like dialogue and stuff like that, music it's an integral part of the game experience. And I think I personally have not played Ori, but I've watched people play it, and the emotions that you feel in scenes, and you're like, what, like, where did this come from? And then you realize that it's from the music playing. It's not even from what necessarily what you're seeing, just it being able to evoke those kind of emotions in people. Like, I think Ori deserves to win this one hands down.
Yeah.
So what's the music like in Hades then?
It's so good. Let me tell you about the music in Hades. So there's this character called Orpheus who's in love with Eurydice, right? And all the music's like super about like a bunch of things, and it gives you more story, and it really drives it. And you can change the songs too, because you can actually buy them with like in-game currency that you can keep after you die and whatnot.
I've not even unlocked songs yet. There's not like.
Yeah,
just
you need to
background.
get. You have to. The contractor actually gives you it. You have to buy the. You have to release him from jail. It's a whole thing. That's why I like it, because I like the integral, like, and it like adds more layers onto the game. But Ori really does do a great job with like.
Ori's
the
very
aspects,
emotional.
so that's the thing. I don't know about Final Fantasy VII because I didn't play it and I saw very little of it, trying to avoid spoilers, and I still got spoiled.
As someone who's played it but not played the original, I think I know some of the music in the original. I'm not sure if a lot of it is not necessarily, it's like redone version of that, which again will harken back to people who have played the original. It'll bring back emotions that people have felt. And I mean, go on.
I was gonna mention Last of Us is very integral to Joel and Ellie's relationship. It is I think there's like 4 or 5 times you'll play guitar.
Yeah.
And all of these are like seminal moments for Ellie being taught by Joel, and it's just a very beautiful father-daughter loving moment.
There's
the plot for that and Ori, I would honestly say probably, and then Doom, like I think they're very close. I don't know.
There's one specific scene in The Last of Us Part 2, and it's completely just when you take it, with the song. If you guys remember the song that Ellie plays, it's an actual song. I'm trying not to spoil this. That's still one of my favorite moments of the year in games, just because it's such a bad stuff just happened, and then you get to Seattle, and then it's just a moment. It takes you out of everything that's happening right now, and there's just 2 characters in a moment, and like they can feel happy for this split moment. It's a really nice part.
And she learned because Joel, gave her the guitar and like all that. Yeah, it's very integral to the whole story. So I would see that, or even Doom, because like it helps drive forward the gameplay.
I personally think Doom will win it, but I would like to see
Ori. I hope Ori wins like at least one, because it really deserves it. Like we were talking about it before we even started, but it was the lowest voted one in one of the I forget which poll it was, but it was the lowest voted one before they started kicking out games.
I 100% this is Doom's game with Mick Gordon. That soundtrack is phenomenal. It's like there's not a weak spot.
I think Doom won it the last time it was up for an award like that as well, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, because because you can't, like, if you turned off the music in Doom, it would not be the same game,
right?
Unless you turned on like death metal and it just happened to like sync up correctly. Like,
I think it's not even like just death metal. That's the beauty of it. There's electronic aspects to it.
Oh yeah.
Synth aspects to it is.
Oh yeah. No, I was just giving like a random genre.
Yeah, I get you.
Like it's not like I put pop onto Murdered Demons. I don't think.
I don't listen to metal, but the guitars in that, dude.
Yeah. No,
okay.
They definitely fit them.
For the next one is best art direction. So for example, creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. You have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, or In the Will of the Wisp, and The Last of Us Part 2. Again, I vote for Ori here just because again it looks visually stunning. I can say the same about Hades though. And I think this is a weird one, right? Because we can say that about those two because they have a distinct style, whereas the animations in the other 3 are like insane
actually,
as well.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like Hades doesn't actually have like animation when people talk. Like they'll change their little like picture. And they'll like do some kind of animated thing sometimes, but it's not like fluid and it's just like a solid image. So I wouldn't really like. I like the art, but I wouldn't say the animation at all is anything to go home about.
Yeah, it's a strange one. It's like it could be any of them. Again, there are so many characters this year where it's like this could literally be anything.
I don't think I would vote for Final Fantasy. It's kind of like an uncanny valley for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the models kind of creep me out, but I think that's just a me thing.
That's fine.
You're just not used to it. Future.
I think.
But yeah, like the Abby looks a lot like Laura Bailey and stuff.
Oh, I'll need to show you something. She's not based on Laura Bailey, but I'll show you something afterwards. Which is there's a video where the facial actor for Dina and the facial actor for Abby met up and like filmed a video together. It's really weird. It's like, oh, they're just conversing in real life.
I've seen Dina in real life, and that's fine. Like that's okay to me. Like that makes sense. I'm okay with her existing, but I don't know if I need to see what Abby looks like because I'll just my brain will. Be
I think she's. I'll show you later. But
I'm not saying anything bad about her.
No.
Bad about how she looks. I'm just.
It's just the face, like nothing else. She's like a.
It's just a character, man. It's like in there.
She's like a rock chick almost, kind of. she's yeah. I think yeah. Last of Us 2, I think, like, just in terms of its animation as well, like, the way that they interact with the world, I could see it possibly winning this as well. I just, it's a weird one where, again, like, people trying to
So
spread
wonky,
votes
though,
out.
sometimes.
It can be. I still think back to when I was
Like
playing
when
Last
you
of Us
grab
1.
something and you like something's behind you, try to
Yeah,
grab it because you still have the animation. You're like,
Frick!
it's like that's not fluid. It's fine. I get it's a video game, but I'm just saying. I don't know. Ori definitely just flows.
Yeah.
You know, all the time. That's the thing. That and Ghost, I would say. I think Final Fantasy is gonna win one just as a pity vote.
Right,
just
exactly.
because
I think it
it's
could
Final Fantasy
actually
7
win
and everyone
here.
loves it.
I think it
this
could win it.
should be Ori's.
Yeah.
I think that Final Fantasy 7 could win and should win because of the fact that I loved Advent Children as a kid and I never even beat Final Fantasy 7, and it looks like I'm playing that. I'm watching that the entire time you're playing.
Right, exactly. And that's the first thing I thought. I was like, this looks like the movie. To be fair, we hadn't really talked about Final Fantasy much because it hasn't been nominated that much, but it's literally every single one that we still got to talk about is nominated for. So, moving on to narrative. So, for extended storytelling and narrative development in the game, you have 17 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, which I've never heard of. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Can I talk about it now? Can I talk about it now?
We'll talk about it now because we are running out of time. Yeah, it is.
Anyway.
We have 2 more to discuss after. We have 1 more and then Game of the Year. So we'll talk about it now.
Everyone else can talk. I will say my piece so that I'll
Panda.
I'm gonna give myself a minute. I'm gonna give myself as exactly 60 seconds to get this all out. So get ready for this.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so the problem with Last of Us Part 2 is that the story is terribly paced and it's put together wrong. It's like stitched together incorrectly because of the leaks or something. So they try to divert expectations by killing Joel early and then give you flashbacks with him. Weird.
Spoilers.
What they should have done. Sorry. So I guess we'll throw that in before like freeze us.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, but the biggest issue is that like they should have had Abby. You should have started with Ellie and then went to Abby before Joel dies. You should have like went through it and then like understood both their stories and then Joel dies, because then I would already have like at least seen Abby and like understood her as a character. It very poorly like tries to teach me that Abby's not such a bad person. Oh, Ellie killed a dog though. Also spoiler. But like it tries to make you hate Ellie in a way that I can't, and I don't think is like genuine, and like it's disingenuous to her character, and I just hate it.
I'll let Alex go next. Yeah.
I do not think Ellie's progression being a horrible character is disingenuous. I think the point of The Last of Us stories is nobody's good.
Silver linings, though. The first game had silver linings.
So does this game. And Ellie legitimately ruins every single chance she ever has at happiness in this game, which sucks to watch. Yeah. But it's one of the most realistic, raw, emotional things that somebody would do. Somebody kills your dad, you're gonna fucking kill them. If it was possible and given a God-given right, and you're in the world where zombies.
But she doesn't. That's my issue, dude.
The thing is, I think at that point she had lost the will to fight.
Yeah, it's not even that. I won't go into what I think, like, because there's a whole and representation, and
I think Tommy also pushed her to go back. I don't think she wanted to go back.
And then I think for Abby's side, her dad was murdered in the first game. She was
conveniently he was murdered in the first game, and they wrote her in after.
I think that was 100% going to be a thing. I think the convenience was plot written already.
Yeah, he's the only one in the first game. He is the only character Doctor. When you get in the room, he's the only one you have to kill. So I think I agree with Alex.
I never understood the hate for Abby being but like a tank. She worked out for what? How long? It was like 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's not my complaint. I don't care.
Yeah, I know it's not yours, but it's just it was a major complaint when the game came out.
It's terrible.
One. Abby, as a person, she starts just as a closed, mean person that cannot love anyone, and then she meets the children, and she understands. But again, you see Ellie kill a dog. She kills a pregnant woman, all while knowing her girlfriend at the time is pregnant. Like, this is kind of.
I mean, she didn't know she was pregnant when she kills her, because Owen's literally she's pregnant.
She didn't, but
no.
There's still these two people she did not need to kill in the moment.
Right.
No, they were like completely defenseless, and she dropped in on them. The dog makes sense because the dog would have killed her.
Yeah, the dog went to attack her. I hate people killing dogs, but the dog was being a good girl.
That hurt me. Every time I third a dog, it hurts me.
And again, I think the plots are reversed on purpose.
Yeah.
You see Ellie regress as you see Abby progress.
Exactly.
I can understand people hating, but for them to meet in the middle, where they meet in the middle, I think
if they're gonna make Ellie lose everything, give me the option to kill her. That is my biggest and most heartfelt point. I hate the fact that I don't get an option as a player. I have no player agency.
I think there should have been an option though.
Then I should have just been able to kill. Then I should have just killed her.
Okay, I will go in. I will touch on it slightly with the whole the reason she didn't do it in that moment was because she realized that Lev is Ellie, and it's Alex said, it's
the cycle.
It's this. Yeah, she wanted to break the cycle. She didn't. They both got flung into a shitty situation because of what other people have done around them. They are basically almost not the same character. They are very similar. And why I would recommend to people out there as well, if you have played this game, they've literally just released an Abby trailer for The Last of Us now, and it's very good of showing how similar they almost are in their stories. And it's like what Alex saying. I remember playing that game, starting the game, playing as Ellie, loving Ellie at the beginning. Abby killing Joel. We'll talk about it because we were talking about it now. And I'm like, you bitch, and I'm gonna kill her. I remember saying it, and then we started playing it, I was like, oh, it's Abby, and you're like, oh, actually she's decent. There was a reason she did it. As soon as you start playing with the zebra, it's like, oh, dad, this, and then it's by the end, it's like, oh shit. And so she's gone through this whole progression and this arc, and she even turns on her people in the end because she realizes she's not on the good side, and there's no good or bad side. Yeah. And so even if
but there's inherently just shitty things though that people do, and she realized that that's what they were.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I agree with you. There are pacing issues. It seems like you play as her for way too long, but
it needs to be cut up more. I hated playing as her. I honestly, if I could get a break for a second, I might have not hated her as much. If I could go back to her, okay, I'm back as Abby now. Okay, let's go play another 8 hours as her, because you play as her for it's crazy. You play as her for at least 10 hours. At least, and that's speed running because I did not stop. I will this time. I'll take in the whole game. I'll try to not hate her when it wins Game of the Year, and I hate myself.
I think that is the beauty of this game. There's someone like you who cannot stand Abby as a character.
Just looking at her face, I'm like, let me murder her.
But whereas people like me was open to the story.
Exactly. I think you have to go in with an open mind. I think that people wanted to hate Abby.
As soon as Joel died, my mind closed.
Exactly, right? That's what it is. I'm so excited for you to go through again. You've left time on it. Because that's the thing with me in this game. I've always said, this it's between this and Fall Guys, but obviously they're different things. The more and more I think about this game, and more I think about wanting to play again, the more and more I get excited because it's such a great story.
No, it is. I just don't like the pacing, and I think that it's very convenient at times with how things happen. Like how she bumps into Joel. I get that they were on a patrol, and it just happened to work out.
They weren't on patrol.
The convenience of that. Well, they were. Yeah, they were. They were on their.
Well, again, this new trailer came out recently. The reason they were there is because they were remember, it's towards the end of the game, in one of the flashbacks, she finds out from someone that Tommy has a settlement in Wyoming, and so they go looking for the settlement, and they're in the area when they find them.
No, I get that. I'm not saying that, but that's that happens so many times in the story. She was spotted over, here. Then then Ellie can't sleep, and then she ends up going after her. It's just convenient. Where did you hear that from? Who told you this? I need it just for how realistic that game is, the conveniency of the plot sometimes it doesn't do it for me.
I mean, it does that a lot in video games and
first
in
one
movies.
The first one flowed for me. Second one's choppy at best. Even with the hard parts of the first one, I still liked it. I didn't hate it. Trindles, do you have any side notes? There's a lot of other games, but that's the game
you have with the conveniences is you've got to remember there's only 600-700 people in the area. Everyone's around each other.
That's true. Yeah. It's just
if there are hordes of
Wyoming
zombies
to
chasing
Seattle,
something,
though, I just don't know how the communication lines flow very openly.
Try trade routes,
I don't know.
Probably.
I guess. I don't know. It's just we're writing the game for them. You know what I mean? Now we're writing the game for them. This is my problem with.
Hey, Panda.
There's gaps and plot holes.
Do you realize that Princess and Alex are messaging about something because they're laughing?
We're laughing at you.
Go
I
ahead.
was laughing at Panda because he keeps saying the same things over and over because he hates this game.
But I do I feel it in my bones. Like it's not like I wish I didn't.
Anyway,
All,
go on.
I don't have. This is literally the only thing. This list of even the next like 2 categories or whatever, 1 category, whatever. I just Last of Us is never gonna have my vote only because I've never played it. But any game that forces you to kill a dog automatically loses my vote. Automatically. I'm
Love to see
sorry.
it.
It's not necessary. I am the biggest like dog person ever. So
Oh,
I
there's multiple
literally
dogs too.
the
Such a
only
dog.
sad dog movie I've ever watched is Old Yeller. Never again.
Your
So
vote.
any
Go on.
I watched a few. Marley and Me is really bad.
I was just gonna say any that has to do with I
I'm Legend.
get the setting. I understand it. Like
Yeah.
it's a zombie apocalyptic world, blah blah blah, like all that stuff. But still, it's one of those things. Even the community has asked so many times, like, can we please not ever have to do this? And then
As
the devs
soon
were
as
like,
I
"Haha,
saw
you
the dog,
thought," but here you go.
as soon as I saw the dog and you were playing fetch with it with Abby, I was like, Ellie's gonna kill it. Like I mean,
Well, no,
you already
you'd
did
already
it, but
killed
like,
it,
I was
yeah.
like, yeah, I was like, but like if that was beforehand, like I would have known. But that still would have been better foreshadowing. The structure.
At that point, you knew because they say the names as well. And you can see
Let
on
me
the color. It's
restructure
like,
it.
well, because
I
also
just
Like, I
know in
don't
games
think the
like that, as
writing's
soon as
bad.
as soon as you see an animal like that, like even shit, what was the game?
Walking Dead.
What explain it?
No, not Walking Dead.
Oh look, speaking of
Fucking
dogs,
Doggos.
It wasn't a dog. It was it was one of the it was Until Dawn. Like you have the option to like chuck a
yeah.
snowball or like something at like a bird or whatever. It's just like for me those like that one's different because you actually have a choice. But like the ones that force you into a situation to where you have to choose to do something, like at that point, if I played the game blind and I didn't know that that was going to be in the game, when I got to that point, I literally would have turned the game off and not
Yeah.
finished it. I would have been like, no, that's okay.
That's the only one you're forced to. There are other dogs, but you can literally stealth through every single section
Yeah.
besides that dog.
But the thing is, with that point though, Ghost of Tsushima has war dogs, which I don't know if you necessarily have to kill them, but if you're in a battle and they're out there, you have to like kill them.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's different just overall.
It's not like a dog. It's not like someone's pet kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not like they
Red
don't
for
make it a
war.
point to like to cutify the dogs, like if that makes
Oh,
any sense.
yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's a cute little puppy. It's like,
I know a lot of people did take issue with that because you literally kill. I think is the dog called Alice, I believe, in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
You literally kill it, and then it's like 10 to 20 minutes later, you go to the flashback, you end up in the stadium, and she's just there. You're playing fetch with her. It's like, oh my god, they really just went there? Like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I think it's a difference in narrative versus gameplay. Like, if there's a horde of dogs running at you in some game, you just mindlessly like, cool, they're enemies.
Yeah.
But if you go to the point where you make it so this dog is loved, and you can tell this dog loves its owners and is doing its damnedest to save their lives, that's just God. That's
yeah.
I just wish I could reorder the chapters myself. Like, let me do that as an option. Give me accessibility options. You're all about accessibility, Last of Us. Let me fix your game.
Oh my god, Panda, that was. Oof.
Do we think that anything else might have a chance? Like, I don't know Hades' narrative.
It's pretty good, but it takes a while to get through. Like, no one's gonna spend the multiple clears to get through it. So, like, they would have to look up a video essentially.
I haven't
Because it's gonna take a while to get through all of it. Because you don't just beat him once and it's done. You have to keep beating him, obviously, and then you get through the story more and more and more, piece by piece.
I don't really know much about Ghost of Tsushima either. Like I said, I've only on Act 2, but I don't ever hear anyone talking about that game for its story. I feel like I've heard it's good, but it's like the last act, it kind of starts to pick up. I think this is between The Last of Us and Final Fantasy. I don't know what 13 Sentinels is personally, but
Ghost could also win though.
oh yeah, it could win.
People got really wrapped up in the story for that. I know parts of the story just because of other people being so excited and talking about it, which I'm fine with because I didn't play it.
It'll be between these two for a lot of fight. Like, we saw it with the public. Right? It'll be between these two. I feel like for a lot of the awards, including Game of the Year.
I wish one of us had a stronger opinion on Final Fantasy, honestly.
Right.
Because I
I've
just
never
don't
played
know.
a single Final Fantasy game.
I never had
Really?
in them.
Okay, the next one it's not this, it's kind of in the same vein, but it's this for best game direction. So it's awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game design and direction. You have Final Fantasy again, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, Hades, and then this time you have Half-Life.
Yeah, I am strong against Last of Us for this one, obviously. After everything I just said.
I think it's difficult. Like, it could be literally any of them. Again, Half-Life is the one I'm least familiar with.
I'd rather Alex win than Last of Us win.
The thing is, it's like Alex said earlier about, like, just in terms of you knowing a specific game or whatever, and you know it's behind the scenes people. Like, not everyone, but most people know Neil Druckmann for The Last of Us. You know what I mean? He's literally
some people are ridiculous. Some people are like they go too far. I don't wish any pain upon that man.
Yeah.
I just hate his game.
Right.
There's a difference.
I could see it winning again. I think again, like, Hades could win it for its design, but the same thing could be said with Tsushima and with Final Fantasy. I don't know. Again, this could be another one where Final Fantasy just gets it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey,
we're not gonna give you Game of the Year, but because you're not even there. Oh no, you are there. I didn't even realize it was up there.
Oh yeah, it is.
If that wins Game of the Year, I'll be like, okay, I'll just buy Final Fantasy 7 then.
I'd be
I'll just
shocked.
play that. I'll enjoy it. I would be too, honestly. It does. There's no way, because even if you look at the player's voice right now, it's definitely all leaning towards.
I mean,
Last of
we can
Us.
literally just move on to Game of the Year right now, like, because I don't, unless you have anything to say about direction. I can't even say, like, I think it's be this. I vote for Last of Us, but
no, I hate the direction of that game. I fundamentally disagree with the direction. I would vote narrative before I would vote direction.
So, Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. You have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. It's a weird one, right? Because all of us now have a game which is in this category that we have all played. And, like, with Princess, like, would you say Animal Crossing... I mean, to you, is it your Game of the Year?
No.
What is your Game of the Year?
I honestly don't know if I have one. If this year for me has been a lot of, like, going back and playing games that, like, I didn't have the chance to finish when I played them before, like, years ago, whatever. Replaying games that I love. I think I'm not saying that Animal Crossing doesn't deserve a spot in the category. I think that it is in the category simply because it was a very well-timed release. Just because, like, this was a game that everyone was playing when it came out, because not only did you have the people that were chomping at the bit, like, waiting for it to come out. We've been waiting for an Animal Crossing game on the Switch and on a console for a long time. We were all excited about it. But then you also had the, like, growth of the community in reference to people being stuck at home and wanting a game that they could play that was new, that was different. So it encouraged a lot of people to try it, which I don't think would have happened if, if 2020 was like 2019, like, if we were going on about our business doing things. I personally, though, this year for games for me is just, it's weird. I've mostly been just rediscovering my love for games that I've already played. And
I mean, that's really fair.
I think that if Last of Us came out last year, I would have liked it more. It's because I didn't need to feel even shittier. That's why I hate it so much. I think it just clicked. I'm like, nope.
Alex, what's your Game of the Year? Because we'll talk about our games of the year here, I guess, and then we can kind of talk about what we think might win. Is your Game of the Year on that of those 6? Is Doom Eternal your Game of the Year? For example, like, because I know you're kind of will be in the same vein of Princess, right? Like, Destiny is like your go-to game if anyone is aware of your love.
Yeah, I mean, Doom Eternal was great. I loved watching Last of Us. Hades, I've just started, so I couldn't put that there.
That's fair.
Ghost, what I've seen is a gorgeous game. No, I
That's
don't
just
think
like
any of these I have an attachment to.
Right.
Like, obviously, I guess it would have to be Doom because 15 hours straight through.
yeah, like you said, yeah. So Ryan, what is yours then?
Well, I mean, of that list, it's The Last of Us, and I think at the end of the day, I would vote for The Last of Us because, like I said, Fall Guys has been my game of the year almost. But like it's hard. It's like, how do you judge both of them? It's like one is heavily story and it's a small. It's a, well, not small, but it's a like you're gonna put 25 hours into this and then you're done theoretically. Whereas Fall Guys is like, hey, you're really fun to play and I'd enjoy playing it with friends and playing it and whatever. But it's like. To me, if I wanted to give something an award this year, it would be The Last of Us. Like like I said, the story, like the emotions I felt during that game, the hate, the sadness, the happiness. That I literally remember at the end that end scene, and I thought that Abby was about to die, and I literally remember on stream going, "No, stop!" I was like literally just like I was in it. You know what I mean? It's just like. Yeah, I hadn't felt those emotions in a story.
Most people felt like that, yeah.
No, but not. From what I've seen, a lot of people were just like, "Yeah, kill her," and I was like one of the only ones that I've seen at least where it was like, "No, just let her live." And so it's like, I haven't felt those emotions in a game in a long time.
You and Green PewDiePie, you know.
PewDiePie.
Green PewDiePie, not regular PewDiePie. Green.
Actually, after Ryan's speech, I take it back. I think out of this list, Animal Crossing is mine.
Oh, really?
Fair.
Yeah, I think the hours I spent on calls with people, fishing,
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
flowers, looking into that, looking at other's museums, going to each other's like trading turnips. I honestly think there was nothing like it feels like 5 years ago now, March,
Yeah.
when we was all just in lockdown. It was trying to figure out what the world would be for the next month.
I honestly agree with you. Like, I would like put it up there of those 6. Like, as much as I really want to still continue playing Ghost of Tsushima, Animal Crossing is like you said, it was something that we could all get together in. You know, like we all were in the same boat with the whole shitty situation, and we all got a Switch or had one. We all got that game, and we all just had fun with each other playing it. Like finding like huge fish, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And it's just like we all shared that kind of sense of discovery together.
Shucky going onto my island and catching all my big fish, and I don't get one. Oh,
that's a game that everyone can talk about and be like, I remember having good times with that with my friends. Like
people yelling at me for having like almost 100 fish on my island. I'm like, no, I'm waiting for the stupid CJ.
Or the what's it called? Not even that. You had the turtles too. You started putting the turtles around the pots and stuff. Friends.
Oh my god, the hamsters that you dumped on my island.
There's so much customization.
That wasn't my hamster.
God. No, but definitely, like, I think I'm actually gonna switch my vote too. Like, I love Hades, but like, there's just something about Animal Crossing, and we don't get them that often. Like you said earlier too, Princess. Like, I don't know. It will always hold a special place, even if I feel like it misses the mark in certain areas. It's okay. It happens.
It was a huge regression looking at, like, I've not played the others, but looking at what was in the other games, there was quite a few features that was in that isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started adding them in with the updates. But...
Yeah, that's what I don't like. The fact that they removed us to be like, hey, you can't just jump to Christmas and see all the Christmas stuff because it's not there yet. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, which as much as I love Animal Crossing, it's the same thing as like what you're saying. If this game came out in 2019, would it still have the same impact as like if you were to look at it as a game? Like I know you just changed your option because it's like, oh, what it held for all of us as a game. Would you still pick Hades?
I think I love roguelikes, right? Like I've loved roguelikes since Binding of Isaac. I've played, Rogue Legacy. I've played a lot of roguelikes. I went back and played like the originals. Like we played Gauntlet together and whatnot. Not Ryan, but sorry, Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
But we played that together and stuff, and like just that feeling of like that like dungeon crawling. I just will always love it, no matter what kind of iteration it takes. And I love Greek mythology anyway, because God of War always pulled me in because of that. That's what got me in at first, and then the boobs, and then the killing, and other stuff. So
wait, what did you
Hades
say?
doesn't have this though. God of War. There's literally a mini game to smash.
Did you
in
say
everything God
no,
of
no,
War.
no, no, no? There's a specific word that you said that
Oh,
I
boop,
don't-
boobs,
Is it okay? I
boops,
didn't know if I misheard
boop,
you or if that's what you said.
the bubs. Yeah, the bobs.
The bombs.
Okay. I was just
I
making
think
sure I wasn't.
that's not a fair assessment. What Ryan said to take away what the game meant, and if it came
Oh,
out in
I'm
a
not
different year.
saying. I'm not saying. I'm
The theme of
using.
this year, though.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
using what Panda said about
Yeah,
The
I
Last
get
of
what
Us.
you're using.
I'm not
Oh,
saying that
yeah.
it should lose merit on based on that.
No,
I'm just
you just
saying
simply think, yeah. No.
if
Yeah.
I didn't
yeah,
take it
at a
out.
base level, like you said, it took away a lot of stuff. At a base level, does it deserve to win Game of the Year? I mean, I think it still could.
I think so.
it
And they've
deserves
been
it.
updating it. There's events, they update it, they added this whole like diving thing, which I haven't even touched yet. Like, I hope they add
Not
ice
in the
fishing.
game, what
That'd
are
be
you
awesome.
doing?
Ice fishing. I haven't touched it in months, Princess.
Play it.
Ever
I
since-
haven't
ever
touched it
since-
since June. I
ever
haven't
since we
even played since
started, yeah.
diving.
Yeah. Same. The last time I like said I was gonna play it was to you, Princess, and that was before we even went to Twitch. Everybody moved on over for obvious things. So yeah, I haven't touched it, but I still love it.
Yeah.
I always love Tom Nook, and I always love yelling at Tom Nook. Nothing gives me more satisfaction than yelling at that stupid Tanuki.
I just as a like final thing to say, like on thinking about what the jury would vote for, I think Doom Eternal doesn't stand a chance, unfortunately. I think, like you said, Final Fantasy has this ability to possibly snatch it. You know what I mean? The same with Hades.
It's just like the love for that game, and especially critics. Critics will do things that no one agrees with just because they're like, we like this the most, all of us collectively, and
Yeah.
I don't think that it should be like that, but we'll see.
I don't know. I think
I
it's all-
don't think Hades is gonna win. I really don't.
No, I think it'll get other category wins. This will come down to between The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, and possibly Animal Crossing. I feel like.
Yeah, but then there's also the Final Fantasy like random,
Yeah,
sweep.
it could just come
They
out
could
of
just
nowhere.
win like 5 awards.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Final
It could just
Fantasy
be
has this
wrong.
ability to, like you're saying, it's gonna fly under the radar. No one's gonna expect it to win anything, and it just wins everything. It's like, oh my god. But I feel like a lot of
It's
people
gonna
might
win
keep
at
it in the
least
head
2
that this is the first part of many, but we'll see. With the
That's the weird thing. It doesn't say part 1 anywhere. Like
No.
even when you buy the game, it doesn't say part 1, and it's 100% a part 1.
Also, can I just point out 3 of the 6 of those are PlayStation exclusives. PlayStation keep on killing it with getting exclusives or producing their own content.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they have so many first-party studios, and now that Microsoft has so many, which
We'll
might be
see.
shifting that finally. Yeah, because they have, we got Bethesda, Obsidian, which means we might finally get a Fallout New Vegas like sequel or something. And it makes
You
me
might see
so happy.
something. So I'm just looking at the player vote quickly before we move on from just like talking about the Game Awards stuff. Right
Yeah.
now, where it sits, Last of Us Part 2 is still number 1. However, the vote is starting to get closer. When I checked this morning, it was 49%, I think, towards The Last of Us, and it was 45% earlier. Now, 39% to The Last of Us. Ghost of Tsushima has 36%. Hades at 12, Doom Eternal at 9, and Miles Morales at 4.
We're switching. We're going ghosts. We're going ghosts. We're going ghosts.
I
We're
think
going ghosts.
it's gonna be
Commit.
so close, and I think this is indicative of what everyone else's vote. I feel like we might see just in terms of this might be where the jury votes as well. It's like it's gonna be between these two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They might keep that in mind, which would be awesome. I hope they do. I hope they do that. I really would.
I feel like The Last of Us 2 is such a Marmite game for a lot of people. Like you hate it, and I love it, and it's like, and that's fine. You know what I mean?
That's a good game though. Honestly, despite everything, like you were saying, Alex, like the divisiveness is what makes it even better, and I hate it because of it. I don't like giving anything to it. I don't like even saying good things about it.
Okay.
I think this year's one of the best years in a long time. I think I would be happy with any of them to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Honestly,
there's so many good games.
I'll just check it out if I haven't played it. Then you know what I mean. I want to check them all out anyway. I've wanted to try Final Fantasy and Ghosts.
I need to
have
play
been
it
doing
again. If you do
I
get
have
Ghosts, we should need to play that multiplayer
four
mode.
out of- Yes, definitely. And once I'll just like clone my PS4 for Princess, and we'll be good. We'll be good.
So the other few things I just had like listed, which we can quickly touch upon, is obviously this is now the turn of a generation. Because I mean, obviously PC never necessarily changes, but like everyone always likes to look back on generation, like what is the games of the generation. So if you have one in your mind, what is your game of the generation? And we'll start with
Bloodborne.
Alex. Bloodborne.
already answered you before you said.
I kind of knew it was coming, but I also thought that maybe you would consider Destiny, not even 1 or 2, but they both came out, and I know like.
I think
Go on.
as great as Destiny is, and as much as it's got a special place in my heart as one of the best games of all time, Bloodborne is just on a whole different level.
The
combat,
story.
the story, the mystery, the music, the intrigue, the difficulty. I spent 72 hours in hospital fighting the Orphan of Kos. That is something not many that's not even English. Not many games will make somebody want to do. And the boss arena is less than 3 seconds away, so it was 3 seconds, die, 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 die. And I was like, I am going to murder you, and I am going to win this DLC.
Yeah.
72 hours later, I did it. I screamed. 2 nurses come running in because I screamed that loud. I did it. That is just an experience and a half that I get. Not very many people can. It's not accessible because it's a very hard game.
Oh yeah, no, it's very.
I definitely. The more I hear you talk
people
about it,
want that. Yeah.
like I want to
When
go
you
back and play it.
Yourself to that.
I'm going
it's
to.
just
I've played quite a bit of Bloodborne, and I have to pick that too because that's how I got my name. It's a very like fulcrum point in my life of like what happened and like where I could have probably went to a different path and I would have met you guys and stuff. So gotta pick Bloodborne. Gotta pick it.
So what I'm hearing
click,
is
I'm gonna
you're
stick with
both gonna play it with me when I eventually. I mean, I've downloaded it on my PS5.
free
I
player?
have it to
Is
play.
it only?
Oh,
It
actually, I
is
don't know.
free.
Oh, there we go.
But I'd feel bad for Alex.
Oh, is it not 4?
No.
No, you can play it then. That's fine.
We
I've never
can-
been it though.
We can dip each other out. I'll do it multiple times.
Yeah, everyone can carry
Yeah.
me. Carry me.
I think the biggest difference
put up
between
with
Dark Souls
that.
and Bloodborne is pace.
It's
And
the
there's-
movement.
Yeah, and there's very one defining feature that you can tell the difference between the 2 games. When you kill a boss in Bloodborne, it will say Nightmare vanquished, Beast slaughtered. That makes you a badass, whereas in Dark Souls it's boss defeated or challenge overcame. So Dark Souls is more of a story of
And they have the whole like Lovecraftian, like overarching, like weird, cryptic, like
werewolves, Cthulhu.
the
It's
cryptid stuff.
You are the monster in that game, which is one of the best parts about it.
Princess, did you think of one? And we were discussing it earlier.
I mean, it's just.
It doesn't have to be something which is like story driven, because like I'll explain. I don't really have one. I'll explain why I think I might choose a specific one in a minute. But yeah, like it could be anything that has come out within the last 7 years, which you just love playing, or it's like it's giving you a special reason to play games, or like it's driven you forward, or it's made you meet people, or
Give you your whole existence.
it could be anything.
I mean,
I was like, I can't.
I don't know if I could pick like one. So okay, I'll do it like this. It'll be quick and easy. So sticking like true to my roots, and obviously my name is based off of Zelda stuff. So I think a big one for me is Breath of the Wild, which I know is a very controversial Zelda game because it is so vastly
Versil.
Yeah.
You're controversial.
It's so vastly different from like what we know as Zelda. It's they dove into the open world aspect of it, which I personally love. I am one of those people, like, I love the idea of playing Skyrim. I am horrible at playing Skyrim because I get so distracted.
Oh, that game.
And it's to the point to where like Skyrim specifically, like there is just places that you don't go until like way further into the game because you were going to get wrecked. Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Breath of the Wild obviously is very similar. Like the very first time I played it and I finally got to where I could just freely explore, I popped up over a hill and got annihilated by a guardian. Like immediately just blew up in the face. And that like I think what made me keep going back to it, and actually it made me love open world games more than I did before, is because it had the Zelda name to it. Like it's characters that I grew up playing as, that I love, that I have emotional attachments to. I think overall, just it's something that, like, there's something in it for everyone. If you just want to go and fight the final boss to say that you beat the game, like, you can do that. If you want to go and explore, you can do that. If you want to, like, there's just lots of different avenues that you can go with it. Um, in terms of multiplayer games, I'm gonna have to go with Destiny, just because that, not only, which I was not the game I was thinking when I first started this little spiel, but Maxi and I, that's one of the first games that, like, he and I played while we were dating.
No.
We met all of you guys through, mostly through Destiny streams. The community just in general has been something that I have, especially this year, have been enjoying becoming more and more a part of. And it's a game, like, I know Panda can also agree with this. Like, we've had our little spurts of, I'm not really interested in playing it. Like, I'm just gonna step away. But it's a game that when you come back to, it's not like, holy shit, I stepped away. Like, I'm screwed. I'm never gonna catch up. Like, this is miserable.
Catch up, and it's really forgiving.
Yeah, it's very, very forgiving. And granted, like, we missed out on some stuff, sure, but, like, it allows for those moments. It's something that you can play. You can grind the hell out of it, or you can casually play it, and you're getting just as much out of it as someone that's spending 20 hours a day playing it. So I think that those are my what?
The way you said 20 hours when literally past month with what? I mean, you've probably slept normally, but I've slept for what, 12 hours and
Oh my god, Alex.
In the last 7 days.
no,
Was the whole month.
Get to sleep more, boy. Boy needs some sleep.
That's the best part about Destiny is the community. It's like,
So that's one thing I love, always going back to it and playing it with you guys. Like, doing that raid with you guys was amazing. All right, we gotta get you through a raid.
he
I
did it today.
earlier. I did it
you do
today.
Oh, you did it today. Oh,
I did.
I took a nap. I must have missed it.
I didn't go live today because I was editing and planning and do all this. So I just, like, I was in choice chat, and then Drake and I was like, I can do this right now. I'm like, let's go. And then we did it. So
Like, fine, just come on.
well, I've been
before
looking to
we-
do it. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
Before we
definitely.
get Ryan's, I want to add to Link's Awakening or whatever it's called, Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
I love Breath of the
I-
Wild, but I also hate it.
Like
Link's
she was
Awakening.
saying, that different types of people could play it. I had not played a single Zelda game, and I went and bought it because it had Dark Souls combat.
Yeah.
And then
It has
I
crazy mechanics.
I fell in love with fighting. What are the centaur type people called?
Lionel's.
Yeah, I fell in love overcoming them early on with is it a Boko shield? The parry timing you can get down to fight is just,
Oh yeah.
it's phenomenal, and that's on the Switch.
Even the dodging, like if you dodge right, you can do that. You can do that slash really quick. That shreds them if you're on their back.
So I was just running around, not even are they guardians or like I had not found a beast or anything, just running around with Lionel horns, not knowing what I'd got because I went and fought some big scary monster I saw. And I was like,
That's great. I
I
love
love
it.
this.
Yeah. No, that's the good thing. I think they really opened it up to like everyone now. Like you don't have to beat the game. You don't want to beat the game, don't. Just run in one direction and do your thing. It's your adventure now.
I think.
Okay, Ryan. Last but certainly not least.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't have a choice. Every game that you've brought up is like one which I've considered. Like even Destiny, like as much as I'm someone who like jumps in and out of it so much, I could say it's my game of the decade or the game of the generation. I don't think game of the generation has to be your favorite or the best. As a defining thing, I would say I could easily make an argument for Destiny. The same with Breath of the Wild.
Bloodborne's not the best.
Breath of the Wild, I just don't like it because I don't like degradability in weapons. Like, if they had, give me the Master Sword, which you get, and it doesn't break, but the fact that I had to charge it, if that was just the sword and the shield, I would probably love that game to hell and high water. I was looking at my list of what my games of the year were for each year, and like, looking at them, I honestly couldn't say, like, one of those is my game of the generation. It's like, if I had to pick one of on that list, because like, oh, actually, before I pick one of those, like the game that I always go back to and think how good it was, and it wasn't even my game of the year when it came out, is like Sunset Overdrive. I harp on about how good that game is just in terms of its art direction. I can see in Spider-Man where that game influenced it, and it's so underappreciated. Like, that is one of my gems to look back on from the last generation and be like, that's such a good game.
I only played it for like 3 hours, but I like the game a lot. Like I don't have any attachment to it like you do, but
yeah,
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
it's funny, right? Because there's an area in the end of Miles Morales where I was like, that looks like one of the pier levels in Sunset Overdrive, and I'm like, oh, I saw what you did there. But honestly, like, this is gonna sound really strange because I would possibly, like, story wise, I would probably think, oh, Persona 5 is like one of my top of the generation. My game, I think I will. This is gonna sound so weird. I think my game of the generation is Overwatch. And I know how weird that sounds, but like, I remember when that game came out, me and Alex went hard on it. I loved the combat. I loved those characters, like the events that came out, and they've updated it ever since. I'm so excited for Overwatch 2. Like, the stories coming from it. Like,
I'm so excited too.
Like, I mean, I literally have a whole freaking like case of pop vinyls for that game. I like, if I had to pick one, weird as it sounds, and I don't play it that much anymore, Overwatch is one of my favorite things that came out. And I wasn't always a massive online dude. Like, I played Call of Duty, I played Halo, like, loved Halo, and Overwatch kind of brought me back into that. Oh look, there's Roadhog. But yeah, like, I wouldn't have ever thought, like, before looking at this list and this thing about it, I wouldn't have ever thought, right, Ryan, you label one of them as your game of the generation, and I say Overwatch. Like, I think Overwatch and Destiny, I would also just, like, put there next to it, because, again, as much as I hate on it sometimes, and, like, as much as it annoys me sometimes, again, like you guys have said, it's something which, like, it's brought a lot of people together, and it's something that is identified, or, like, you know what I mean? It's something I identify with, and it's something which, going forward, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's a weird one. Overwatch is my choice.
Definitely. Overwatch is just like, it's the extreme of like not playing a game and like taking breaks from it, because like I take bigger breaks from that than I take from even Destiny. So
yeah,
but that's awesome. Like I love Overwatch. That's a great pick. I think everyone picked it really great.
It's just a case of like, that game is great, but the community can fuck it up sometimes.
Right.
But yeah. Another thing I had was, did anyone have a disappointing game this year? If you have one.
You want to talk out yours?
Yep, I'm good.
Alex, did you?
I was so anticipating it. I was excited.
I need to have a look what came out this year.
I'll go quickly with mine then, just because mine's a quick thing.
Go for it. Yeah.
My most anticipated game of the year, because I'm such a Marvel fan, was Avengers. I still really enjoyed Avengers. Like, it was still had a really great story, and I loved those characters. However, like, for what I thought, the way I see it is, if they didn't have that end game grind and the trying to be a service game, if they just put way more story into the game and had it as a story game, it could have been something amazing. And I mean, that they have stuff coming out, like the Kate Bishop's DLC comes out on Tuesday. It's like we're seeing more story stuff coming, but it's like a case of little too late. I'm just like,
that's what I said. Never mind. I'm not gonna rile everyone up. I've already done it multiple times.
I think maybe Resident Evil 3.
So what about it made you? Because I know that's a lot of people's one. Is it just because it was too short, or did you feel like it was rushed?
It wasn't rushed. For what it was great. I think there was far too much stripped from, because it was a remake, right? It wasn't like a brand new story, so you can look and physically see what's not in the game. That was. So I can get, maybe it's a different timeline and it's more stripped down, but they literally had a picture of the clock tower where you spent 2 hours in the base game, the release, whatever it is, the prequel, non-remaster. There we go, English. So yeah, it's like there's so much areas that you see that you would have gone to in the non-remake, and then they didn't replace it with anything per se. Jill's most famous line when he's saying stars, chew on this, which in the base game, she's got a magnum to his brain, and she says, "You want stars? I'll give you stars." And then in the remake, it's just when she's running down a hallway. It's nowhere near as badass. Like, you wouldn't even notice it if you didn't stop. You literally have to stop to get one of Jill's most famous lines. Which is just disappointing.
I like 2. I haven't played 3 though. I heard mixed things from you and from other people, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till it's like a super sale, like a nice $4.99.
I enjoy it for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic, like, if you would compare them, RE2 Remake is the horror survival.
Oh yeah.
RE3 is just an action game.
Yeah.
The
Well, I mean,
rumors about Resident Evil 4
that's like
as well.
Aliens though. You know what I mean? Like Aliens,
Aliens, yeah.
Aliens 3. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Princess,
you
did
just
you
stick
have one?
or-
I honestly
I'll let you
don't
down.
think that I do.
That's fair.
I don't
Princess.
know if I do.
Because I think a lot of times
I'll give
disappointment
you
comes
one.
from hyping something like Panda's obviously with Last of Us 2. Even though he didn't say it again.
I
Like,
was anticipating it a lot though.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, I wanted to like it. I still want to love that game, but
Mhm.
there's just like a block in my brain that's like, no, you hate that person. You can't enjoy half this game. And I'm like, okay.
No, I'm
All
surprised
right.
Death Stranding isn't on any of these lists.
Because it didn't come out this year. It came
I
out
can't
last
even remember. This is the weird thing, right? I was saying I'm pretty sure it came out after not Last Jedi, Jedi Fallen Order last year, and it still was nominated last year. I remember it was up for a load of awards last year, which is why I get confused
November
by.
8th.
Oh, so November 8th. So it was
yeah, it was right before the cutoff. So it was probably up last year then.
Yeah, it was
Because
on,
they came to PC this year.
yeah.
So they probably could have given it awards if they wanted to for
I will
PC.
be right back.
Okay.
Is there anything you feel like deserved more recognition this year? Like, is there any game which either flew under the radar or you feel like people badmouthed it and think deserved more?
You can go first, Alex, if you want, buddy.
You can go first. I'm still looking at stuff.
Okay, Minecraft Dungeons. I think that game is like, it kind of had like a little bit of a spurt when it first came out, but I think it fizzled out really quickly. I think there's a lot to that game, and I don't know about the DLC, but I think that game really did Diablo differently, and it kind of like made it more accessible. Because like Diablo's weird. Like when you first start Diablo, it does not have a very good entry point. Minecraft Dungeons has a really good flow to the story, and up until the final boss, it was very good grind. And then me, Princess, and Mexi are now stuck at the final boss, and we haven't beaten it in months now.
Oof.
But I need to grind, and we need to beat that guy because that's the last thing we have to do. It was just fun. Like I enjoyed every moment of playing that game. Like I didn't have a complaint, and it just felt good.
Yeah, one yet, Alex?
I guess probably the Demon Souls remaster, but that's falls very, very prey to the accessibility of the PlayStation 5 currently.
I guess. Yeah, because
What,
a
you
lot of
mean rest
people.
mode for the console?
Yeah,
A lot
because
of
you can
people-
only play it on that console, and nobody can get that console.
A lot of people aren't people saying that they've removed stuff from it or something, and it's not really
Could've been.
added back in.
They've added cosmetics and items that you can only get for pre-ordering the game.
Oh,
So it's,
They also took out one of the death cries of one of the bosses that everyone loved a lot. I forget which one, because I never played it.
Made in Australia, I think.
Yeah. Then everyone's upset. They're like, "Why did you take that out? Like, you literally just put the old sound file back in if you weren't gonna redo it. We'd rather have that."
And one of the biggest stupid things was they changed the way the cat room looks. It used to look like a real cat. Also, there's Godfall. That is an interesting one that I've heard fall flat.
I want it. Yeah,
I
Has
really
it
want to play it. I've not played it yet, but
I would love to play
it seems
that.
to be dead on
Fun. Pringles, welcome back.
there we go. I feel like for me, the only one that sticks out in my head, as weird as it's gonna sound, is Battletoads, because a lot of people do not like that game, and I'm
I mean,
like,
I just winced because you said it. So
so
I don't like looking at it.
I never really played the original, and so I'm not necessarily what it was aiming for in the first place, but I feel like someone who, it wasn't a hard game, and I was fine with that, and I think there are modes which can make it harder, but to me, it looks amazing. I know you said it looks weird. I think it looks great. The animation in that game, for like, it's meant to be like a Saturday
No,
morning
not
cartoon.
because of the art style. I like the art style a lot. It's the weird like mini games, and like they Raymanned it is what they did. They Raymanned.
Again, I love Rayman. Maybe that's
I
why.
don't like the new Rayman. I like the old Raymans. See, that's the thing.
I think a lot of
I'm old.
people hate on it because they are fans of the original, whereas I went in it as a new person with it. I played it through Rare Replay,
Okay.
but like I love the animation. It looks like Saturday Morning Cartoon. The jokes are crude as fuck, and like they are meant to be like that way.
I can't chance.
And so, but some of them do miss the mark. Some of them are just like, why? but like a lot of them really hit, and I laughed at a lot of them, and I kind of want more people to like give it a go. Like it's one of these games where it's like
I'm gonna give it.
it's like 5 hours long. It took me 5 hours. I'm like, it's one of these games where it's like between your Destinies and your other multiplayer games. Insert
Call
here.
of Duties and your and your Overwatches and your
If you need what I call a palette cleanser, like when I play Bridge Constructor, just give Battletoads a go. Especially if you have Game Pass, it's there. Just give it a go. Like you say, you don't really like the whole minigame stuff. I like the fact that there's the side scrolls, there's like you play rock paper scissors, there's the hoverbike sections, there's the minigame stuff. I actually really enjoyed it as a whole.
I don't know.
Princess,
It doesn't feel very Battletoadsy.
is there a game that came out this year which you feel deserves more recognition, or you saw people hate on it and you're like, I don't know why? Like more love.
I mean, there's one that it like just missed the November 15th deadline by like a couple games, but nobody was talking about it last year when it came out anyways. Personally, I absolutely love Spirit of the North. Like an indie game, that game is visually stunning. Like I literally upgraded my RAM in my PC so I could play that game because it's just I don't even know like what else to say about it. It's something that I thought a lot more people were going to talk about than what actually did, which kind of made me sad because it's gorgeous. It has the whole side of it where it makes you feel certain things that like nobody likes feeling when they're playing a game on stream, because nobody likes being sad boy on stream. Like it has incredible gameplay elements of like the mechanics, the puzzle aspects, like all of that stuff. It's just, in my opinion, it's severely underrated and something that I wish a lot more people like knew about and would give like the chance to actually play it. It's on the Switch and I think it's on Steam.
I have it on Steam.
It's great.
It has a great, like, it reminds me of Banjo-Kazooie. It gives me back that old vibe of just like doing puzzles and just like playing a game as an animal and just going through and doing stuff, you know? It's I like collectathons and platformers and puzzles, and I miss it.
It looks interesting. I definitely have to give it a go. Yeah, I'd never even heard of it until right now.
I only got it because Princess started streaming it, and I was like, well, we were talking about it at one point, and I'm just gonna get it now because you're playing it, and I don't want to spoil.
That's fair. There's another game that's called Fee, which is like an indie game came out a few years ago, which like one of those kind of veins of collectathons, or not collectathons, but like going around an open world, exploring things. Yeah, FE. It's like it was an EA Originals game, you know, like from like A Way Out and stuff. It was pretty decent. Okay, the last thing that I just want to talk about, which is again we're circling back to the Game Awards now. What do you think, or what would you like to be shown as a world premiere this year? That kind of thing. Like, so I've already looking at what is gonna possibly they've announced that Dragon Age, the next Dragon Age is gonna be shown. They've announced that there's gonna be something for Among Us or Fall Guys. Is there something?
The map.
Yeah. They're probably it's just a trailer for season 3 probably. Is there anything that you guys would like to possibly be seen or think that this is gonna be shown? I kind of have more. I'll go last because I have more of a just generalization of. Actually, no, I'll go faster because then it might help you guys. So last year they announced The Wolf Among Us 2. We might see that again, like because they sometimes have a precedent of announcing something and then showing it more the next year. It's the same with they'll probably show off Hellblade 2 possibly. I was thinking about more of this earlier. Normally, not always at the Game Awards, but every single year or time that Naughty Dog releases a game, in that same year, they tease their next project. So when The Last of Us 1 came out, they teased Uncharted 4. When Uncharted 4 came out, they teased The Last of Us 2. And so The Last of Us 2 came out this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we either saw something, if there is a new Uncharted coming out, or if they have a new franchise coming.
I don't want another Uncharted game. How they ended 4 was perfect, and they don't need to return to it.
Well, I mean, they might go with different characters, which is why I didn't say Uncharted 5. Yeah, and just if
they bring Nathan Drake back, I'm gonna scream. I will. You know.
Those are the ones which I'm like, okay, that's probably what might happen. We've had that kind of stuff in the past. What is there that you would love to see announced, if anything? Oh, actually, no, one more quickly. Oh, no, go on. I'll say at the end. Go on.
I have one reasonable, which I'm actually expecting, and one I don't think we'll see in a million years.
Go on then.
So I'll start with one I don't think we're ever going to see.
Mhm.
Bungie's been reportedly working on a new IP. That would be so cool if we finally see it. Actually, there's two. There's two things I forgot what it is until just popped to my head. Secondly, Elden Ring gameplay, please. And then
hold on,
like my most.
Wait. Just to quickly say, that was my one thing. I think that we'll see Elden Ring because it's on the most anticipated game vote. I think we're gonna see it.
We need to see Elden Ring. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I have another one, but.
And then my most realistic one would be 3 words: Mass Effect Remaster.
You think we're gonna see that recently though? Oh yeah, no, it's
we
coming
didn't
out.
see it. We didn't see it.
No gameplay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's coming out in February, so we should. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good guess. I like it. Princess, you want to call? You call?
Oh no, you go. You go.
And
Me go.
tickling her. Jeez.
I will tickle as I please. Thank you. My unreasonable one, which I was gonna go with first and then say Elden Ring, but you said it, so you jinxed me. You got me. Banjo-Kazooie 3. I want a Banjo-Kazooie game so badly. I will lose my ever-loving shit if that game gets even if I see a Jiggy in 4K UHD spin, I'll be like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
That was a shot.
Fire on that one.
Holy shit.
Oh, his is the biggest shot in the dark.
I'm just one day. Rare will rise again with their single player games. But it's not gonna be this year. And then I hope one day we get Bloodborne, true Bloodborne on PC. Because if we got Bloodborne on PC, I would be so happy. So happy. Okay. That's it. I'm exhausted.
Princess, you got anything?
I mean, for me, not like a whole lot. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to Hellblade 2.
I need to play the first one so bad.
I think the games that I'm anticipating have already been announced. It's just a matter of whether or not they're gonna actually come out next year or they're gonna be pushed back another year, which is Breath of the Wild 2 and then Hellblade 2. Those are the two that I'm waiting for. I'm very excited for.
I think it's reasonable that we might see Breath of the Wild 2. We might see something, honestly.
It might get pushed back, though. It might honestly get pushed back. I don't know. They've been still cranking out everything. Nintendo just seems to be operating as normal. They're just no.
Yeah.
No.
I think in my wildest dream, I don't have something because mine would always be Mass Effect. But if we're seeing Dragon Age, unless they're here's a little something, I'll be ah!
Yeah.
But what I really hope, and which probably isn't, but possibly gonna see, is Fable. Because that and Harry Potter are my two and most anticipated stuff. So seeing anything more of those games, yeah, that I know. And so
I want to play it so bad.
It's Fable specifically, though. I would love to see. I feel like we're gonna see something from Xbox, and I think if they want to show something, make sure that. Just in terms of what is reasonable, which we might see again, Wolf Among Us 2. Hopefully, I've heard things that there might be issues with there. I honestly think, just in terms of small announcements we get, I think we're gonna get a new Smash Bros. Character reveal. I think. I've lost what I forgot what was, the other thing I was gonna say, but I think
reveal's not bad.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do some small reels. We'll see new gameplay. I think we'll maybe even see more Psychonauts 2 just randomly out there because that game has been shown off a lot there.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, I just feel
you never played the first Psychonauts? Play Psychonauts.
I've tried. I got a bit into it, but I just stopped. I think there's gonna be 3 big. I don't know what, but I think there's gonna be at least 3 from 3 big studios. We're gonna see some from Xbox.
No.
I don't think Nintendo might show something.
Oh, Halo, yeah,
oh, we might see more Halo.
Yeah, they've been working extra time. They were gonna release it, so that makes sense.
I just think
there we go. Look at
there's gonna be 1 or 2. I'm hoping at least. I mean, it might be different because of the whole pandemic stuff, but I think there's 1 or 2 games which you aren't expecting, or which is just gonna be completely no one was expecting to see this, or it's not even, or it might be something new. I remember The Last of Us being revealed. Everyone was like, "Oh, what is this game?" I always love it when I see a game where it's there's with Cuphead. I'm like, Oh, what was that? It's like a flash of it. It's like, what is that game? I'm keeping an eye on you,
Yeah.
and then it comes out like 4 years later. I'm like, yes. I think we will see new Elden Ring stuff. Just because on the most anticipated game thing, it's one of the listed ones. And
Well,
so
Sekiro's been out for a while now.
yeah, and we haven't seen anything since one trailer last June. That was all we've seen of Elden Ring.
I think it was the June before, right?
It might have been. It was an E3. I know that much. Either way, it's been at least a year. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure. I love watching the Game Awards just because it's always cool to see what wins. It's always cool to see these announcements. They're always gonna be like duddy announcements. I was literally looking at what was announced last year. It's like not a whole lot, but I'm excited to see what comes.
I hope to see more. I just thought of it. I don't know what made me think of it, but the Black Myth, Wukong.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I want to see. Obviously, they're not planning on releasing that for years, but like, I want to see more of that game. Like the trailer that they had, the 13-minute thing that came out. Oh my god, I want that game right now.
What was that game that looked like Kuba on the strings?
Oh,
Was it
oh shoot, what's it called? It's like
Little Nightmare 2?
oh, it's called like
No,
it's like called like Kia Bridge of
Number 2 is
Spirits or
out.
something.
Yeah,
on.
Bridge of Spirits.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It like looks
Oh, yeah, Kenna
really
Bridge of
looks-
Spirits.
It looks like a Pixar. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks
Like,
amazing.
so-
I
I
do
want it.
remember this. Yeah, wait, is this a? Oh, it's an exclusive, isn't it?
It's
oh,
no, it's on
an-
PC as well, I believe. It's
Oh,
on
yeah, it'll be
PS3, sorry, PS4, PS5, PC, I believe.
Link
Mwah.
made me watch the trailer. She was like,
Oh my god, it looks so
So
good.
cute.
I haven't watched it yet. I think I've seen pieces or pictures, but I'll watch it later when we're done. Pull it up. Yeah, the Halo's my most reasonable guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair guess. Xbox normally have a foot in the show somewhere, so
Yeah.
I think we
And
might see
Halo's the
something
next thing we're covering.
Fortnite related. Like, if any,
Oh, what if that's how they show Xbox? They show Halo footage. They show
It
like
could
new
be.
game footage, and then they just warp him into Fortnite.
they might do that.
Ooh,
They
you
also
go grab
might,
him right now.
just because of the whole gaming icon series, they might just be like, hey, look at all these icons that I can now come into Fortnite. We're like, you never know.
Fortnite just like steals the show, and then they win all the awards too because look, they showed so much. Ugh.
Oh, do you know, actually, I
That's
would
not how it
love to
works,
see, like, just randomly, and I know they've just wrapped up a trilogy, so we're not going to see a new one for ages. I would actually really like to see a next-gen Tomb Raider, like some sort of, I love that series, so.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't know.
I think, and this is coming
I
from
never played any of them.
someone that like that was very, 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 very late to the game in terms of Elder Scrolls games. I know that they talked about a sixth. I highly, highly doubt that anything is going to be said about it like in the next couple years, but
Possible.
I'm going to
Yeah.
put like a full 0% on that because they've said that Starfield is coming before. So if anything, we'll see new
Yeah.
Starfield stuff.
Oh, true. I forgot
yeah, I
about
do know that they said that. I just that would be like it
gonna be-
would be cool to like
It would
be able
be.
to experience something like that, like
Yeah.
with everyone for the first time instead of like
I wish
12
that I
months
could.
after it's come out.
I wish that I could just make everyone play Oblivion when it came out
That's
because
so
it's
good.
so much better.
Oh,
I
I remember what my last one was, which it's probably never gonna happen, but I would love to see. They actually show off something like Pokemon, either Let's Go Johto, or they show off the Diamond and Pearl remake. I would be like,
Oh my god!
I'm done.
Let's go, Cyndaquil. I will flip my desk right now. If they have Let's Go Cyndaquil, I will pre-order it the day it gets announced. That is a fact. I will go up to my little, my little duty on, and I'll walk right in GameStop. I'll have the case, and I'll just, frame it. I love Cyndaquil, dude.
be great.
There's no stop. Au
Okay.
revoir.
Oh, what? It's the closing. Guys, thank you for joining us. We've nearly been talking for 3 hours. So I appreciate everyone
Hopefully, edit
talking.
that a little bit. We'll see.
The Game Awards will be on June 10th, not June 10th, June 10th, December 10th at I believe it's 11:30 UK time or 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I think that's the pre-show starts probably at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be watching on Twitch. So if anyone wants to watch along, you can find me there. I hope everyone enjoys it. I hope someone gets something which they want to see. Guys, if you want to check out the rest of the people that were in this video, you can find their links below. You got Alex, you got Princess, you got Panda. You can follow all of them. They're all great. And guys, again, thank you for joining me.
And sub to the
What's that?
YouTube channel. Look at this graph. Wow, look how many of you aren't subbed that watch videos.
Oh yeah. Hey, how many people have clicked
wow.
on this video? I hate it when people do that. How many of you clicked on this
You
video?
gotta throw it in there. It's like a thing now for the
I don't even know where you'd find that.
Star wipe, bell icon, follow, bell. Bye.
Ding. Smash the bell.
dunk.
Have a good one, everyone.